What if the way you talk to yourself right now is holding you back from everything you want? Have you ever noticed how your own words can either push you forward or pull you down? This audiobook is about changing that, about training yourself to speak like a winner every single day. Imagine waking up and hearing a voice inside that fuels your confidence, keeps you steady through challenges, and pushes you to lead with courage. What if your own voice became your greatest source of strength instead of doubt? You're about to discover how simple shifts in the way you speak to yourself can transform your mindset and your life. Stick with me, because by the end you'll have powerful tools to take control of your inner dialogue and build a voice that leads with boldness and clarity. Ready to become your own strongest ally? Let's get started. Chapter 1. Speak powerful words that build your inner strength. The way you speak to yourself is the foundation of your life. Your words shape your beliefs shape your actions, and your actions shape your future. It begins not with what others say about you, but with what you say about yourself when no one is around. Most people don't realize this. They think self-talk is just background noise, but it's not. It's the script you live by. And if that script is weak, if it's full of doubt, fear and shame, then it's only a matter of time before it limits what you become. But if that script is strong, rooted in clarity, discipline and self-respect, it can make you unstoppable. If you want to become someone who grows stronger every day, you must begin by strengthening your inner voice. You have to become conscious of what you say to yourself and start speaking in a way that supports the person you're working to become. This doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect or lying to yourself. It means being honest with yourself in a way that encourages growth. It means speaking like someone who respects themselves, even when things are hard, even when there's no applause, even when you're in pain. Especially then. Strength isn't loud, it's not always bold or dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet. It's the voice that says, keep going when your energy is gone. It's the voice that reminds you you're doing better than you think when your progress feels invisible. It's the voice that keeps you focused when distractions scream for your attention. Inner strength grows when you stop tearing yourself down and start becoming your own source of power. And it begins with language. Many people walk around carrying words from others that broke them. Words from childhood, from failed relationships, from toxic environments. Those words echo in the background of their thoughts, and without knowing it, they repeat those words back to themselves. I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. I'll never change. That repetition becomes belief, and belief becomes identity. This is how people stay stuck, not because they can't change, but because they've talked themselves into believing they can't. It has to stop. You must become the author of your own voice, the protector of your own mind. If you want to build inner strength, speak like someone who refuses to stay weak. That doesn't mean ignoring your flaws or pretending to be perfect. It means choosing words that hold you accountable without destroying you. It means guiding yourself forward instead of pushing yourself down. The voice you use in your head every day is either helping you heal and grow, or it's keeping you in a place of confusion and pain. You have to make a choice. Start by listening. Pay attention to the way you talk to yourself when things go wrong. When you fail, do you attack yourself? Do you replay the mistake over and over in your mind? Do you call yourself names or remind yourself of past failures? Or do you pause and speak to yourself like someone who deserves another chance? Do you say, this happened, I can learn, I can grow, I'll do better next time? That small shift in language is not weakness, it's wisdom. Because self-respect fuels improvement. You don't get better by shaming yourself. You get better by being honest and disciplined without being cruel. Every time you catch yourself using weak language, words that drain your confidence or distort your worth, you have an opportunity to replace them. Say something stronger. Speak with intention. Tell yourself the truth in a way that gives you strength. I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it. This is difficult, but I've overcome worse. I'm proud of how far I've come. These aren't just comforting lines, these are tools of mental resilience. This is how you train your mind to keep going when life pushes back. The words you use daily become the armor you wear. If that armor is thin, every failure will cut deep. Every rejection will feel personal. Every mistake will confirm your worst fears. But if your inner words are strong, if you've trained yourself to speak from clarity and self-control, then you can take a hit and keep moving. You won't be crushed by disappointment. You won't be controlled by anxiety. You'll know how to breathe through setbacks and speak power into yourself without waiting for someone else to do it for you. One of the most important habits you can build is morning self-talk. The way you begin your day mentally matters. If you start with doubt, distractions or complaining, you weaken yourself before the day even begins. But if you wake up and speak strength into your mind, if you tell yourself what you're committed to, who you're becoming, and how you're going to show up, then you step into the day with intention instead of reaction. You take control of your energy before the world tries to pull it in 100 directions. Try this. When you wake up, before touching your phone, sit for a moment and speak directly to yourself. Say what you're focused on today. Say what kind of mindset you're carrying. Say how you're going to face the day. Speak strength into your mind before the outside world tries to weaken it. Even 1 minute of intentional inner speech can shift your direction. The world won't stop throwing challenges at you, but you can build a stronger inner response. Throughout your day, catch yourself when your language slips into weakness. When you hear yourself say, "I can't," stop. When you hear yourself say, "I'm not good at this," reframe it. Say, "I'm learning. I'm improving." When you feel tired and tempted to quit, say, "This is when I grow. This is the moment that counts." Your words won't always change your emotions immediately, but they will guide your behavior. And your behavior, done consistently, will shift your life. Stop waiting for others to talk you into believing in yourself. Stop waiting for encouragement from people who don't know your struggle. Start becoming your own source of belief. Not ego, not arrogance, just calm, steady truth. You know what you've been through. You know what you're capable of. So speak like someone who has been through pain and chose to rise. Speak like someone who refuses to stay broken. Speak like someone who is done feeding weakness. Even in silence, your inner voice is shaping you. Most people don't realize how much damage their own words are doing. They repeat doubts until they feel real. They compare themselves to others and tell themselves they're behind. They minimize their strengths and amplify their flaws. If you want peace in your mind, you have to clean up the way you speak to yourself. That doesn't happen overnight. It happens one sentence at a time. Take responsibility for the way you use words internally. Don't wait for confidence to speak powerfully. Speak powerfully to build confidence. You don't need everything figured out to speak like someone who believes in themselves. You just need the courage to speak words that move you forward. Not in a fake way, but in a focused way. You're not trying to lie to yourself. You're trying to lead yourself. The most powerful inner voices aren't loud. They are calm, firm, and clear. They don't scream over your fears. They speak through them. They don't deny pain, they guide you through it. That's the voice you need to build. One that is rooted in truth, not comfort. One that can handle failure without folding. One that keeps you aligned with who you're becoming. And that voice is built one word at a time. In your weakest moments, the words you speak to yourself will either save you or destroy you. You will either choose language that lifts you through pain, or you will choose language that feeds it. When your motivation is gone, when your energy is low, when things go wrong, this is when your voice matters most. It's easy to speak like a winner when life is going well, but the real test is when it's not. That's when your training shows. That's when your discipline matters, and that's when you must speak strength, even if your voice shakes. This is not a one-time shift. It's a daily discipline. You have to train yourself to become aware of the words running through your mind. You have to stop accepting language that weakens you and start building a vocabulary that reflects resilience. Speak the kind of words that push you forward. Speak like someone who is not finished yet. Speak like someone who knows that every day is a chance to get better. And when you mess up, because you will, don't fall back into old language. Don't beat yourself up. Don't go silent. Speak clearly and firmly. Say what needs to be said. I made a mistake. I own it. I'll fix it. I'm still growing. That's how you build real strength, by refusing to collapse under pressure, and instead using it as a chance to reinforce your discipline. There is no one who will ever spend more time with you than yourself. You are your own companion for life. Make sure your voice is one that builds you. Make sure your words help you rise. When life gets loud, make sure your inner voice is louder, not in volume but in conviction. Every time you speak with purpose, every time you correct a weak thought, every time you choose truth over fear, you are building strength. And that strength becomes your foundation. You don't need to be perfect to start speaking like a winner. You just need to be willing. You need to decide that your voice will no longer be a source of pain or confusion. It will be a tool of discipline, clarity, and growth. The more you speak like a winner, the more you act like one. The more you act like one, the more you become one. Your life will reflect the words you speak to yourself. Choose them wisely. Speak like someone who is building something powerful. Speak like someone who is going somewhere. Speak like someone who refuses to live small. The strength you're looking for isn't somewhere out there. It's already inside you. But you have to speak it into action. Every day. One powerful word at a time. Chapter 2. Replace self-doubt with calm and focused belief. If you don't believe in yourself, nothing else you do will ever feel enough. That's the brutal truth. And the most dangerous thing about self-doubt is that it doesn't always shout, it whispers. It quietly convinces you to wait, to hold back, to delay your progress until you feel more ready, more worthy, more capable. But that day never comes unless you decide it's already here. The real power lies in replacing that self-doubt with a calm, focused belief, not built on hype or empty confidence, but grounded in truth, discipline, and daily actions that earn your trust back in yourself. Self-doubt steals your energy long before the world even gets a chance to judge you. You hesitate before you speak. You second-guess every decision. You walk into a room already assuming you're less than others. This inner war keeps you from trying, from risking, from growing. The good news is, self-doubt is not your identity. It's just a habit. And like any habit, it can be broken, reshaped, and replaced with something far stronger. Belief in yourself isn't about pretending you're perfect. It's not arrogance. And it's not delusion. It's calm. It's clarity. It's knowing that you may not have every answer right now, but you trust yourself enough to find your way through. It's not loud. It's not boastful. It's silent and steady. It shows up when you keep going, even when no one's watching. It shows up when you start something hard and finish it, not for applause but for your own sense of pride. That is calm, focused belief, and it's built from the inside out. If you want to replace self-doubt, you have to interrupt the thoughts that feed it. Most of the time, it begins with a single silent lie. I can't. That phrase grows roots in your mind. You start acting like it's the truth. But every time you say, I can't, what you really mean is, I haven't figured it out yet. That change in language might seem small, but it's powerful. When you tell yourself, I haven't figured it out yet, you leave the door open. You give yourself a chance to grow. You remove the finality of failure. You allow effort back into your life. That alone changes everything. Real belief is not passive. It's built through repetition, through showing up even when you feel uncertain, through taking the next step even when the road ahead feels blurry. You have to prove to yourself over and over that you are not fragile. You are not incapable. You are not what fear tells you. Fear lies. Action reveals the truth. Start by recognizing how you speak to yourself in small moments. When something goes wrong, do you say, of course I messed that up? Or do you say, this is part of the process, I'll learn and adjust? When you're under pressure, do you freeze with worry? Or do you breathe and tell yourself, I can handle this? One step at a time, these little choices add up. They create the emotional atmosphere of your inner world. Your words become your identity, and your identity shapes every action you take. To shift from doubt to belief, you must catch the language of limitation and swap it for language that leads. It doesn't mean lying to yourself. It means telling the full story. Instead of saying, I'm not good at this, say, I'm improving every time I try. Instead of saying, I'll never get there, say, I haven't reached it yet, but I'm on the path. These subtle changes in self-talk aren't fluff, they're strategy. They rewire the way your brain processes challenge, risk, and discomfort. And when your mind sees discomfort as growth instead of danger, you become unstoppable. Calm belief doesn't rely on motivation. It's not a feeling that shows up on good days. It's a mindset you commit to, especially on the hard days. When doubt creeps in, you pause, you remind yourself, I've been here before, I've handled worse. I don't need to feel fearless. I just need to act with clarity. That clarity is enough to break the pattern. You don't need to eliminate fear, you just need to keep moving anyway. You will always have thoughts that try to limit you. That's human, but those thoughts only have power when you agree with them. If a doubt enters your mind and you let it stay, it will grow. But if you confront it with calm truth, it shrinks, it weakens, it loses its grip, and eventually it gets quieter. It doesn't vanish overnight, but it no longer controls your decisions. That's freedom. Building belief also requires consistency. You can't speak powerfully to yourself once and expect a lifetime of confidence. You must return to those steady, strengthening words daily. You must repeat what is true until it becomes louder than what is false. And you don't wait to believe in yourself only after you've succeeded. You practice belief before results show up. That's when it counts most. You don't need to convince yourself with hype. You don't need to look in the mirror and shout things you don't really believe. That's not belief. That's performance. What you need is a quiet inner contract, a decision to be on your own side, to support your own effort, to back your own growth. That's where belief lives, not in noise but in discipline. The people who grow the most aren't the ones who never feel doubt. They're the ones who move forward anyway. They are calm in the storm because they have trained their mind to respond with focus, not panic. They don't deny pressure. They don't pretend things are easy, but they show up with the same attitude. This challenge is for me. I will grow through this. That inner response is a skill you can build, no matter where you start. Self-doubt loves comparison. It thrives when you measure your path against someone else's progress. That's why part of replacing it is turning your focus back to your own lane. You have to stop asking if you're behind and start asking, am I improving? You have to stop wondering if others are better and start focusing on, am I giving my best today? The world will always offer distractions and judgments. Your job is to return to yourself and walk forward with discipline. Belief is practical. It's not a fantasy. It means doing what you said you would do. It means earning your trust through actions, not empty promises. When you say, I'm going to finish this, and you do, it builds confidence. When you say, I'm going to get up early and train, and you follow through, your belief grows. That's how you escape the cycle of doubt. Not by trying to feel better, but by acting better, and letting those actions change the story you tell yourself. When you focus on building belief, you become a different kind of person. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop needing permission. You stop looking for someone to validate you. You validate yourself through daily proof. And that quiet confidence makes you powerful, not in a loud ego-driven way, but in a grounded, unshakable way. The world doesn't need more people who pretend to have it all figured out. It needs more people who show up with humility, discipline, and belief that is earned through daily commitment. You can be that person. You don't have to wait until you feel ready. You just have to decide that self-doubt will no longer get the final say. You replace self-doubt, not by fighting it, but by building something stronger. And what you build is calm focus. You stop overthinking. You stop spiraling into what-ifs. You narrow your attention to the next step in front of you. You ask yourself, what's the most disciplined action I can take right now? Then you do it. And again, until one day, doubt shows up, and you barely notice it anymore, because your belief has become the default. Not because you never struggle, but because you no longer let struggle define you. You deserve a voice in your head that speaks to you with strength, with clarity, with compassion, not one that tears you down before you even try. If that voice doesn't exist yet, create it, train it, use it daily. Speak to yourself like someone who deserves to succeed, because you do, and your life changes the moment you stop waiting for belief to magically arrive and start acting like it's already within you. You are not fragile. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are simply learning how to step into a version of yourself that has always been there, waiting. Doubt will not stop you if you choose to act in belief. And every time you do, you take back control. You become a force that moves with calm intention. You become grounded, disciplined, clear, and no matter how loud the outside world gets, you walk your path with quiet strength. That's how real belief is built, through daily decisions to act with purpose, even when the doubt lingers. Especially then, the next time that inner voice tries to shake your confidence, pause, breathe. Remind yourself who you are becoming. Speak a better truth, not because it sounds nice, but because it's earned, and then move forward, not with fear, but with focused belief that no one can take from you. Chapter 3. Remind yourself daily of your purpose and goals. Every day you wake up without a reminder of your purpose, you drift, slowly, silently, and dangerously, into a version of life that doesn't belong to you. You start living on autopilot. You get pulled by distractions, demands, and opinions. You say yes to things that mean nothing, just to feel busy. And somewhere along the way, you forget why you started. That's why you must remind yourself daily of your purpose and goals. Not once in a while, not only when you're lost. Every day. Because in the absence of direction, the world will gladly hand you one, and it will never be yours. You don't need a perfect morning routine to take control of your life. You just need clarity. You need to wake up and tell yourself the truth about what matters. Before the noise of the world creeps in, before doubt starts whispering, before distractions steal your attention, you need to reconnect to your mission. You need to declare to yourself, this is what I'm building, this is who I'm becoming, this is where I'm going. That single act can realign your energy for the entire day. Purpose is not something you randomly stumble upon one day. It's something you strengthen by revisiting it, by living it, by choosing it over and over, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. It's not always going to feel inspiring. Some days your purpose won't feel like a fire, it'll feel like a weight. But that's when it matters most. Because discipline begins where excitement ends. And the only way to stay consistent through the grind is to stay deeply connected to your reason for beginning. Think about how easily people forget why they're doing what they're doing. They chase goals for status, money, or validation. They build lives that look impressive but feel empty. That's the cost of living without clarity. When you don't remind yourself daily why you do what you do, you'll be tempted to quit when the process gets uncomfortable. But if you've grounded your goals in meaning, the struggle becomes part of the mission, not a reason to run. A daily reminder isn't just a motivational phrase, it's an anchor. It brings you back to your truth. In a world that constantly pulls your focus in 100 directions, your reminder says, come back, stay on track. This is what we're here for. That's how you stay committed when distractions feel more exciting. That's how you resist the pull to give up, just because it's taking longer than you hoped. And don't make the mistake of thinking that your purpose has to be some grand, earth-shaking thing. It doesn't need to be flashy. It just needs to be real. Maybe your purpose is to show your kids what discipline looks like. Maybe it's to break a cycle of mediocrity. Maybe it's to prove to yourself that you're not a quitter. Whatever it is, make it clear, make it personal, and make sure it's strong enough to carry you when your motivation disappears. Your goals are not just checkboxes on a list. They are promises you've made to your future self. They are reminders that you're capable of more than just surviving. And every day that you revisit them, you reinforce the idea that you are here to build, not to drift. You're here to make something of yourself, not to coast through the years and call that a life. Most people forget their goals because they never wrote them with intention in the first place. They set vague, shallow targets. I want to be successful. I want to be rich. Those goals don't mean anything unless they're tied to purpose. What does success look like for you? What kind of rich do you want? Money, time, health, peace. Be specific. Your mind needs a clear image. Your soul needs a deeper reason. And once you define it, revisit it like it's sacred, because it is. Every morning, remind yourself of the life you're building. Picture it, speak it, write it, own it. Do not let a single day begin without locking in on your mission. And don't let your goals become background noise. Keep them front and center. Read them aloud. Put them on your wall. Make them impossible to forget. Because the moment you forget, you become vulnerable to every distraction, every excuse, every impulse that says, it's okay to take it easy. There's a discipline in reminding yourself of your purpose. It's not glamorous. It's not flashy. But it builds a mental fortress around your focus. And once your focus is protected, your energy becomes weaponized. You stop wasting time on meaningless tasks. You stop saying yes to things that pull you off track. You stop trying to please everyone. You narrow your efforts to what matters. And that's when your life starts compounding in the right direction. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to know what you're aiming for and why it matters. And you need to reconnect to that daily. Because life will always try to make you forget. That's why this is your responsibility. No one is going to do this for you. No one is going to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, don't forget your mission today. That's on you. That's your job. And it's one of the most important ones you'll ever take on. There will be days when your purpose feels far away. There will be moments when your goals seem impossible. That's when you lean into the reminder, not away from it. That's when you quiet the noise and return to your why. Because in those moments, your mind will look for a reason to quit. And if you don't give it a better reason to keep going, it will choose comfort. It will choose distraction. It will choose regret. But your daily reminder is how you stay rooted in something deeper than discomfort. Do not confuse movement with progress. It's easy to stay busy. It's easy to fill your schedule with tasks that feel productive. But without clarity of purpose, that motion is hollow. Your reminder cuts through that noise. It asks you, does this move me closer to the life I said I wanted? If the answer is no, cut it out. If the answer is yes, lean in harder. That's how you build a life that means something. Not through random action, but through aligned action. There's no secret to building consistency. You just show up every day and remind yourself why it matters. You show up when it's boring. You show up when you're tired. You show up when the results aren't obvious. And over time, your actions begin to match your vision. You become the person who doesn't break promises to yourself. And that's when real confidence shows up, not from hype, but from integrity. You don't rise by accident. You rise on purpose, and purpose is not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. It's a ritual of remembering what you stand for, what you're building, and why it's worth the work. Every day, you're either reinforcing your mission or forgetting it. There's no neutral, there's no standing still. So choose to remember. Choose to lock in. Choose to carry your goals like they matter, because they do. When people say they feel lost, it's not because they don't have potential. It's because they've disconnected from their purpose. They've stopped checking in with their goals. They've allowed their life to become reactive instead of intentional. But that can change in an instant. One decision to recommit. One moment to pause and remember what matters. That's all it takes to reset the trajectory. And if you do that every single day, you'll never stay lost for long. You must get to a place where your purpose becomes part of your identity. Not something you chase, but something you live. It becomes how you show up, how you speak, how you work, how you think. And when it becomes that deep, your life stops feeling scattered. Your energy stops leaking. Your focus sharpens, and people will wonder how you move with such clarity. It's because you remind yourself daily of what you're here to do. There will be temptations, there will be shortcuts, There will be noise, but if you've built the habit of reconnecting with your goals every day, you'll have the strength to stay on your path. You won't need to chase every opportunity. You won't need external validation. You'll have something stronger. You'll have direction. And that makes you unstoppable. You don't need to wait for a breakdown to start living with purpose. You don't need to hit rock bottom to get clear. You can choose now. You can start today. You can take 5 minutes in the morning to write down your goals. You can speak your purpose into existence. You can set an intention and align your actions with it. That simple decision will transform everything over time. Because when you know what you want and why it matters, every obstacle becomes part of the path. Every challenge becomes a lesson. Every day becomes an opportunity to get closer. You're no longer drifting. You're driving. You're no longer hoping. You're building. And that power comes from one simple habit, reminding yourself daily of your purpose and goals. It doesn't need to be complicated. Just keep it consistent. Just keep it real. Just keep returning to the vision you believe in. And one day you'll look up and realize you didn't just dream it, you lived it. You became it. You built it. One focused, purpose-driven day at a time. Chapter 4. Challenge every negative thought with firm truth. You are not weak for having negative thoughts, but you become weak when you let them run your life without questioning them. The mind is a battlefield, and every single day you have to fight for your peace, for your clarity, and for your focus. You have to become ruthless with what you allow to stay in your mind. If a thought doesn't serve your growth, doesn't reflect your truth, or doesn't align with your purpose, you challenge it immediately. You don't let it settle. You don't let it breathe. You face it with firm truth, and you strip away its power. That's how you protect your mind and preserve your inner strength. Negative thoughts are not facts. They are not prophecies. They are not the voice of reason. Most of the time, they are just distorted echoes from your past or fears about a future that hasn't even happened yet. But if you don't confront them, they will sound real. They will feel true. And if you believe them long enough, they will start shaping your decisions, your habits, your identity. That's why you must be quicker with truth than your mind is with fear. When a negative thought enters your mind, something like, "I'm not good enough, this will never work," or "I always mess things up," you stop it right there. You don't argue with it gently. You don't entertain it. You hit it with truth. You say, "That's not real. That's not who I am. That's not how this ends." You don't let it spiral. You shut it down. That one decision to meet every falsehood with something stronger builds mental toughness that most people never develop. The truth is, most negative thoughts are just mental habits. You've thought them so often, they feel natural. But just because something is familiar doesn't make it accurate. You have to unlearn that reflex. You have to retrain your brain to pause, to observe, and to respond with strength. The way you do that is through repetition. Catch the thought, challenge the lie, replace it with truth. Over and over until your mind starts defaulting to strength instead of fear. It's easy to let negative thoughts sit in your head. It's easy to assume they're true just because they feel intense. But that intensity is not proof. It's just your brain being dramatic. Your job is to see through the drama. Your job is to stop asking, "What if this goes wrong?" and start asking, "What's actually real right now?" That shift in questioning puts you back in control. It reminds you that you are the thinker of your thoughts, not the victim of them. You've got to stop treating negative thoughts like facts. They're not instructions. They're not your identity. They are suggestions, nothing more. And just like any suggestion, you get to accept or reject them. Start rejecting them more often. Start talking back. Start using the truth like a shield. That's how you build resilience, not by avoiding negativity, but by standing up to it every time it shows up. You wouldn't let someone walk into your home and insult you repeatedly. So why do you let your mind do it all day without pushing back? You need boundaries in your head, just like you need them in your life. When a thought crosses the line, you correct it. You say, "No, that's not welcome here. That doesn't belong in the mind of someone who's building, growing, and evolving." This is what it means to be mentally disciplined. You don't just let your thoughts wander. You lead them. The truth is not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, steady and simple, but it's always stronger. You have to learn to trust that. When your mind tells you you're failing, the truth says you're learning. When your mind says you're stuck, the truth reminds you of everything you've already overcome. When your mind says it's too late, the truth says you're just getting started. Speak that truth every single time your mind tries to sabotage your potential. Nobody else is coming to rescue you from your own thoughts. This is your work, and the more consistently you do it, the less control those thoughts will have over you. You'll start to see them as noise. You'll start to recognize their patterns. You'll start to feel stronger, not because the thoughts went away, but because you stopped believing them. Some people think mental strength means never having negative thoughts. That's not true. Real strength means you still have those thoughts, but you don't let them control you. You don't make decisions from them. You don't shrink because of them. You rise in spite of them. That's power. That's courage. And it all starts with telling the truth to yourself, about yourself, again and again, until the lies lose their grip. Your mind will offer you reasons to quit. It will remind you of every past mistake. It will exaggerate your fears. But none of that defines you unless you give it permission. Start becoming more selective. Start filtering every thought through this question: does this help me grow? If it doesn't belong. Let it go. Replace it. Speak something that aligns with who you want to be, not who you used to be. Most people underestimate the impact of unchecked thoughts. They think a little doubt here and there won't matter, but it builds. It compounds. Every time you entertain a lie, it grows stronger. Every time you let fear dictate your focus, your potential shrinks. And that's not a price you can afford to pay. Your dreams are too important. Your future is too valuable. You can't let lies rent space in your head. You have to start evicting them with truth. It won't be easy at first. The old patterns will fight back. The voice of fear will try to sound like logic, but stay committed. Stay conscious. Keep responding with truth, even when it feels repetitive, because that repetition is what rewires your mind. That's how you go from reacting emotionally to responding intelligently. That's how you build calm, clarity, and control from the inside out. When your thoughts tell you you're not ready, the truth says you've already taken the first step. When your thoughts say you'll fail, the truth reminds you that failure is not final, it's feedback. When your thoughts say you're not enough, the truth says you're evolving, you're showing up, you're doing the work. That's enough. That's always been enough. You can either let your thoughts shape your life, or you can shape your thoughts and take control of your life. One leads to regret, the other leads to transformation. You get to choose. Every moment is a new opportunity to speak truth over lies, to lean into clarity instead of confusion, to build strength instead of surrendering to fear. And remember, this is not about being perfect. This is about being aware, being intentional, being courageous enough to say, I don't have to believe everything I think. That one realization can unlock a completely new level of personal power. Because once you stop believing the lies, you start living in alignment with your true potential. You have to become your own protector. Guard your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. Everything starts there. Your decisions, your actions, your identity. It all flows from what you allow yourself to believe. So make the truth your standard. Don't settle for comfort. Don't accept weakness. Speak to yourself like someone who matters, because you do. When things get hard, don't let your mind default to defeat. Train it to default to strength. When you feel fear rising, respond with facts. When you feel overwhelmed, break it down. Simplify, focus on what's real, and always, always remind yourself that negative thoughts are not permanent unless you make them so. You can interrupt them. You can redirect them. You can replace them with something powerful, something real, something grounded in who you are becoming. You're not here to be ruled by your doubts. You're here to rise above them. You're here to grow, to evolve, to sharpen your thinking, so that nothing can pull you off course. But it starts with you. It starts with one decision to challenge every negative thought the second it appears, and to answer it with the truth you've earned, the truth you've built, and the truth that will carry you forward. This is your mind. Take it back. Fill it with strength. Fill it with truth. Fill it with the kind of thoughts that turn potential into reality. And don't ever stop. Not when it's hard. Not when you're tired. Not when you feel lost. Keep standing firm in truth. Keep speaking what builds you. And watch how your life changes from the inside out, one powerful thought at a time. Chapter 5. Affirm your worth even when no one does. You don't need anyone's permission to feel worthy. You just need to stop forgetting who you are when no one is clapping for you. When the world goes silent, when the applause stops, when people look the other way, that's when you find out if your worth was ever real to you, or if it was just borrowed from outside validation. The truth is, most people are waiting for someone else to tell them they matter, waiting for a pat on the back, waiting for someone to recognize their effort. But if you build your worth on the reactions of others, you'll be at their mercy forever, and that is no way to live. Real self-worth is quiet. It doesn't need to be seen, liked, or validated. It just needs to be owned. It's the decision you make every morning to stand tall even if no one notices, to speak your truth even when no one agrees, and to believe in your value even when the world overlooks it. That's power, that's inner strength, and that's what sets people apart, the ones who rise with or without an audience. You don't have to wait to be seen to matter. You don't need to be told you're important to be important. You affirm your worth not because someone else did, but because you refuse to forget the work, the discipline, the scars, the lessons that shaped you. You are not empty. You are not invisible. You are full of everything it takes to keep going, and if nobody else sees that, you do. That's what matters. Some days you'll show up and no one will thank you. You'll give your best and it won't be acknowledged. You'll grow and no one will notice. And that's okay. That's not a signal to shrink. That's not a sign to doubt yourself. That's when you dig deeper into who you are and why you do what you do. That's when you remind yourself that external recognition is a luxury, not a requirement. What's required is that you keep going, regardless. There will be moments when your effort feels invisible, when your silence is misunderstood, when your kindness is overlooked. In those moments, don't lower your standards, don't question your worth, don't start begging for approval. Stand firm, because worth that depends on others isn't worth at all. It's insecurity in disguise. And you weren't built to live insecure. You were built to be grounded, focused and unshakable, even when the room is quiet. Affirming your worth isn't about arrogance. It's not about ego. It's about knowing your value so deeply that the absence of praise doesn't disturb your peace. When you know who you are, silence doesn't shake you. You stop needing applause. You stop craving validation. You start becoming the kind of person who's fueled from within, who walks with certainty even in the dark, because they know they're walking in purpose. You have to be the one who looks in the mirror and says, "I'm proud of you." You have to be the one who keeps going when no one's watching. You have to be the one who sees your own progress, your own effort, your own growth, even when others miss it completely. That's not delusion. That's discipline. That's you choosing to recognize yourself before expecting others to do it. The world may not understand the journey you're on. People may not appreciate the discipline you've cultivated. They may not see the weight you carry or the inner work you've done to become this version of yourself. But none of that changes the truth. You are valuable, you are capable, you are worthy, whether or not anyone acknowledges it. Every time you affirm your worth, you train your mind to stop looking outward for validation. You take back your power. You stop waiting. You stop hoping someone else will notice. And instead you become the one who notices, who recognizes, who celebrates even the small steps. That's how you build a mindset that cannot be broken. That's how you become resilient. Your worth is not defined by your current results. It's not determined by how many people believe in you. It's rooted in who you choose to become, in the standards you hold, in the integrity you live with. No one else gets to assign you value. They can overlook you, underestimate you, ignore you, but they can't erase what's already true. You matter, regardless of who affirms it. There's a kind of power that grows in silence. When you work without praise, when you give without applause, when you show up again and again, even when no one's watching, that's when your self-worth deepens. That's when your character sharpens. That's when you realize that true confidence isn't about who sees you, it's about how you see yourself. Sometimes you look around and feel like no one gets you. Like no one sees your heart, your effort, your potential. Don't let that lie take hold. Just because people don't affirm you doesn't mean you're not growing. Just because the outside world is quiet doesn't mean you're not making noise within. You know what you're building. You know what you've survived. You know what's coming next. Hold on to that truth. Self-worth doesn't ask who believes in me. It asks, do I believe in me even when no one else does? That's the question that changes everything. That's the question that determines your resilience, your drive, your future. If you need the world to believe in you before you move, you'll stay stuck forever. But if you learn to affirm yourself daily, no lack of support can stop you. Every single day, you have to remind yourself of your value, not because you're weak, but because the world is loud and full of distractions that make you forget. Every day you wake up, take back your mind. Remind yourself that you're enough, that your effort matters, that you're making progress, even if it's quiet, even if it's invisible, even if no one else sees it yet. You do. And that's what matters. You don't have to be the loudest. You don't have to have the most likes, or the most followers, or the most attention. What you need is inner clarity. Clarity about who you are, what you stand for, and what you're working toward. With that, you become unstoppable. With that, you don't need to chase validation. You become the source of your own drive. People may misunderstand you. They may misjudge your silence, your solitude, your discipline. But don't waste time explaining. Keep growing. Keep building. Keep affirming your worth, not through words, but through your decisions, your habits, your mindset. Let your life speak louder than their opinions. The truth is, the people who achieve the most aren't the ones constantly affirmed. They're the ones who keep going despite the silence. They know their worth isn't up for debate. They walk into the room with quiet certainty. They do the work without needing permission. They affirm themselves and then act like it. That's what sets them apart. That's what will set you apart. So the next time you feel invisible, remember this: being unnoticed doesn't mean you're unworthy. Your value is not tied to who sees it. It's tied to how you carry it. So carry it with strength. Carry it with pride. Carry it with pride. Carry it like someone who knows they belong at the table, even if no one pulls out a chair for them. You pull your own chair. You sit down. You build. You rise. And every day, affirm yourself. Not just once, not just when things are good. Do it especially when they're not. When it's quiet, when it's lonely, when it feels like no one gets it. Say it anyway. I am worthy. I am enough. I'm built for this. Because the moment you stop needing to hear that from others and start saying it to yourself is the moment you become truly powerful. This is your journey. This is your life. Don't spend it waiting to be validated. Spend it becoming the strongest, clearest, most grounded version of yourself, and do it in silence, if you have to. Because in the end, the world will always catch up to the person who affirms their worth with action, with consistency, with quiet belief. Let that be you. Chapter 6. Create mental habits that protect your confidence. Your confidence isn't something you find, it's something you protect every single day with the thoughts you allow, the focus you choose, and the boundaries you set in your mind. The world will challenge your belief in yourself. Life will hand you moments designed to shake you, distract you, or convince you that you're not enough. That's why you don't just hope to feel confident. You build it through habits that guard your mindset like armor. You have to be intentional with how you think, because if you're not, your mind will default to fear, insecurity, and self-sabotage. You need mental discipline, not just motivation. The strongest people you've ever admired weren't just confident. They had habits in place that made them think clearly under pressure, recover quickly after setbacks, and move forward even when doubt tried to pull them back. They didn't wake up feeling powerful every day, but they had routines, patterns, and mental systems that protected their belief from being stolen by criticism, failure, or silence. You need that. You need habits that remind you who you are, even when life tries to make you forget. Mental habits aren't just positive thoughts. They're how you frame your experiences. They're how you respond to your mistakes. They're how you interpret rejection, how you bounce back from loss, how you silence your inner critic before it has the chance to control you. If you don't build those habits deliberately, your mind will build something else by default, something reactive, something negative, something fragile. And that fragile mindset will collapse under pressure if you let it. You protect your confidence by catching your thoughts before they spiral. You protect your confidence by challenging the voice that says, "You're not good enough," and replacing it with, "You're growing, and that's enough for today." You protect your confidence by not attaching your self-worth to outcomes or opinions. And you do that every day, not just on the days when things are going your way. Confidence doesn't grow in comfort, It grows in the small daily decisions you make to think better, to not take things personally, to not overthink, to not catastrophize. You grow your confidence by choosing mental strength when it's easier to fall back into mental weakness. You keep your power by not entertaining thoughts that weaken your sense of direction. And when those thoughts show up, and they will, you don't entertain them like guests. You shut the door and return to what builds you. If you don't choose your thoughts, they will choose you. And the thoughts that come uninvited are usually the ones that break you. That's why mental habits are everything. They're not something you use when you feel low. They're something you use before the storm even shows up. They're your internal preparation. So when life hits, your mindset is already prepared to stand firm, not crumble. You need a habit of separating fact from fear. Most of the thoughts that shake your confidence aren't rooted in reality. They're exaggerated fears, false beliefs, or echoes from your past that no longer apply to your life today. If you don't question them, you'll believe them, and if you believe them, you'll act like they're true. That's how people sabotage themselves, not because they're weak, but because they never took the time to question the lies they were telling themselves. Another habit that protects your confidence is learning to pause. You don't have to react to every feeling, every thought, every piece of bad news. You can sit still, you can breathe, you can respond with calm and clarity instead of chaos. That pause, that space between stimulus and response, is where you reclaim your power. That's where you get to say, I choose how this shapes me. Without that habit, you react emotionally, impulsively, destructively, and your confidence slowly erodes because you start believing you're not in control. Build a habit of affirming your progress. Not just the big wins, the small steps, the unseen effort, the days you showed up even when it was hard. That's how you train your brain to focus on growth instead of lack. That's how you rewire your thinking so that your mind becomes a source of fuel, not friction. It's not about being delusional. It's about being honest with yourself about how far you've come. Because when your mind is always fixated on what's missing, your confidence will never catch up. Protect your confidence by being careful who you listen to. Not every opinion deserves space in your mind. Not every criticism is truth. If you internalize every negative comment, you'll drain yourself chasing validation and overcorrecting to please people who don't even know you. You have to train yourself to filter what enters your mind. And that takes discipline. That's a mental habit, the habit of guarding your energy from careless voices. You need the habit of refocusing. Life will throw distractions your way. People will try to pull you into negativity, gossip and noise. Your mind needs the strength to refocus again and again on what matters. Focus is a habit, and without it, your confidence becomes reactive. It starts depending on circumstances instead of commitment. But when you train your mind to refocus, you stay grounded. You keep your center, and that protects you. Your self-talk is another critical habit. You talk to yourself more than anyone else talks to you. So what are you saying? Are you criticizing yourself all day long? Are you doubting yourself before you've even started? Or are you learning to be your own motivator? Calm, encouraging, firm. The way you talk to yourself shapes the way you show up in the world. And if you want to protect your confidence, you have to start speaking to yourself with the same belief you give to others. Build a mental habit of perspective. When something goes wrong, don't jump to conclusions. Zoom out. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week, a year? Is this a permanent failure or a temporary setback? Perspective shrinks problems. And when your problems feel smaller, your confidence doesn't collapse under them. Most people panic over things that just need a little distance. You stay strong by staying clear. That clarity is built through habit, not emotion. Confidence is not about never feeling insecure. It's about not letting those insecurities dictate your actions. And that takes habits. It takes knowing how to reset your thoughts. It takes knowing how to interrupt patterns of self-doubt. It takes the discipline to keep your mind focused when your emotions are trying to pull you off course. And that's something you train daily, not something you wish for. You don't wait for peace to show up. You create it with repetition, with practice, with mental structure. Just like you train your body, you train your mind. And every time you replace a negative thought with a constructive one, every time you shift from fear to focus, every time you choose perspective over panic, you strengthen that mental foundation. You make it easier next time. You make confidence your baseline, not your goal. People talk about mindset, but very few build systems to support it. A strong mindset isn't a quote on your wall or a phrase you repeat once. It's a process. It's built into your daily routine. It's how you start your mornings, how you respond to stress, how you reflect at the end of the day. The habits you follow, when no one's watching, determine the confidence you bring when everyone is. No one is born with unstoppable confidence. What you're seeing in confident people is the result of unseen repetition. They've trained their minds to respond with clarity. They've conditioned themselves to keep going through discomfort. And they've built the discipline to not let temporary thoughts create permanent damage. That's what you need. You don't need more hype. You need habits that protect your mind like it's sacred, because it is. If you've been struggling with self-belief, you're not broken. You're just untrained. And the good news is, mental habits can be learned. You can change how you think. You can strengthen your mindset. You can make peace your default and discipline your protector. It won't happen overnight. But if you commit to the practice, your confidence will no longer depend on perfect conditions. It will be there, steady and reliable, even when the world feels uncertain. This is your responsibility. No one else can build these habits for you. No one else can protect your mind. That's on you. But once you take ownership, once you decide that your thoughts will no longer be random, that your focus will no longer be scattered, that your mindset will no longer be at the mercy of external chaos, that's when you become powerful. That's when you start moving through life with conviction. Start today. Choose one thought to replace, one reaction to pause, one distraction to eliminate, one affirmation to repeat, one mental shift to practice, and do it again tomorrow, and the next day. Build the habits slowly, build them consistently, and over time, you'll become the kind of person who doesn't need to fake confidence, because you've built it from the inside out, quietly, powerfully, permanently. Chapter 7. Encourage yourself during setbacks without losing hope. Every setback you face isn't a sign to stop. It's a challenge to see how deeply you believe in your ability to rise. Life doesn't test you when things are easy. It tests you in the middle of delays, in the silence of rejection, in the long nights where everything feels uncertain. That's where your strength is built. That's where your character is revealed. And that's where most people give up. Not because they're weak, but because they forget how to speak to themselves with power when life goes quiet. If you want to last through the storm, you have to become your own source of encouragement. You have to speak life into yourself when everything around you feels like it's falling apart. It's easy to be motivated when things are moving fast, when progress is visible, when the results are obvious. But when it slows down, when the doors don't open, when your plans collapse and you're stuck in the waiting room of life, that's when you discover what you're really made of. And it's in that moment, not in your highlight reel, that you need to develop the ability to stand tall inside. You won't always hear applause, you won't always feel supported. But if you can learn to be your own coach, your own cheerleader, your own steady voice, you won't need the world to approve you before you keep going. Encouraging yourself isn't about pretending everything's fine. It's about choosing not to give up just because it isn't. It's the decision to stand back up, not because you feel ready, but because you know this struggle isn't the end. When you hit a wall, don't let your emotions write the story. You can feel tired and still keep going. You can feel doubt and still take action. You can feel hurt and still make progress. Your feelings don't have to dictate your direction. Your belief does. Most people lose hope, not because they can't succeed, but because they allow temporary failure to distort their future. They start to believe that a delay means denial, that a hard day means it's not worth it anymore. But setbacks are part of the process. Growth is never smooth, it's messy, frustrating, and full of moments that will make you question everything. That's why your mindset has to be stronger than your circumstances. That's why your internal voice has to be louder than the noise outside. You have to tell yourself the truth when your mind starts feeding you lies. You have to say, this is not the end. I'm still here. I'm still moving. I've made it through worse. I'll grow through this too. You're not defeated just because things aren't perfect. You're still in the fight. You're still choosing effort. You're still showing up. And sometimes, that's all the courage you need to build momentum again. When you're in the middle of a setback, don't measure your worth by your performance. Don't judge your future by the current storm. Don't let a bad day turn into a bad mindset. Encourage yourself by remembering that progress is still being made, even when it's not visible. Remind yourself of who you're becoming, not just what you're achieving. Growth happens in the shadows, in the quiet spaces where no one is watching, where you're still grinding, still thinking, still pushing through. Encouragement isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just a quiet keep going. Sometimes it's just taking one more step, even when your legs feel heavy. Sometimes it's refusing to spiral into self-pity, choosing instead to focus on what you can still control. That's real encouragement, not empty hype, not pretending to feel amazing, but choosing discipline over despair, choosing persistence over panic, choosing focus over fear. The truth is, no one will ever care about your dream as much as you do. So if you're waiting for someone to constantly remind you why you started, you'll be disappointed. That's why you must develop the ability to fuel yourself. You have to carry your own fire, because some days the people around you will be silent. Life will be silent. And on those days, your own voice has to be enough. Your own inner dialogue has to be strong enough to say, I'm not stopping here. I know this season hurts, but I'm not done. You must stop basing your motivation on results. Real growth requires you to keep going even when the outcome is unclear. Real belief means moving forward without guarantees. If you can only encourage yourself when things are working, your endurance won't last long. But if you can find strength in the struggle itself, if you can see setbacks as teachers, not enemies, then nothing can truly stop you. You'll become resilient, not just driven. And that's what separates people who finish strong from people who quit early. You don't rebuild yourself by waiting for perfect conditions. You rebuild by stacking one good decision on top of another, even when you feel like quitting. You don't have to feel confident to speak with confidence. You don't have to feel strong to act strong. What matters is your choice in the moment. Will you let this break you, or will you let it mold you? Will you retreat, or will you rise 1 inch at a time? When you feel discouraged, remind yourself how far you've already come. Not just in accomplishments, but in your growth. Think of the days you didn't give up. Think of the moments you stayed calm when you wanted to explode. Think of the times you moved forward while carrying fear on your back. That's strength. That's growth. That's evidence that you are not where you started. And if you've come this far, there's no reason to stop now. Encouragement can come from looking forward too. Picture the version of yourself you're working toward. Visualize that person handling pressure with calm, navigating life with clarity, standing tall with unshakable belief. Every struggle you endure now is building that version of you. Every moment you push through doubt is an investment in your future self. Keep that image alive in your mind. Let it pull you forward when your motivation fades. Never let a temporary feeling convince you to abandon a permanent goal. Never let today's frustration erase tomorrow's potential. The road will never be perfect, but your mindset can be powerful enough to keep you on it. When doubt creeps in, respond with decision. When fatigue sets in, respond with consistency. When fear rises, respond with courage. Even a whisper of encouragement repeated often becomes a roar over time. And that internal roar can carry you through the hardest moments of your journey. You will be tested again and again. Life won't let you grow without resistance, but that resistance is not meant to destroy you. It's meant to reveal you. Let it show you your strength. Let it teach you your own resilience. Let it refine your focus, and above all, let it build the habit of speaking life into yourself when everything else is quiet. That's how you make it through the storm, not by waiting for it to pass, but by becoming the person who can walk through it and still rise. You are more powerful than your current problems. You have made it through days where you thought you wouldn't. You've overcome doubts that tried to paralyze you. You've gotten back up after losses that nearly broke your spirit. And none of that happened by accident. It happened because somewhere inside, even if only for a moment, you chose to believe in your ability to overcome. You chose to keep going, not because it was easy, but because quitting would have cost you more. So right now, in this moment, choose again. Choose to speak to yourself with strength. Choose to remind yourself that this is not the end. Choose to look beyond the temporary pain and focus on the long-term reward. Choose to see setbacks as part of the climb, not the end of the journey. Encourage yourself like your future depends on it, because it does. And when the next wave of doubt tries to shake you, meet it with a voice that says, I am still here, I am still rising. I am not finished. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to decide that you're not done yet. And with every step forward, no matter how slow, you reclaim your power. You rewrite your story. You prove that you were always stronger than your setbacks, and you never needed perfect conditions to keep moving forward. Chapter 8. Talk through fears until they lose all power. Fear loses its grip the moment you bring it into the light and refuse to stay silent. When you stop running from it, stop pretending it doesn't exist, and instead begin to speak honestly about what scares you, you start to shrink its power. Fear thrives in the dark corners of your mind, feeding on uncertainty, imagination, and silence. But when you confront it head-on, when you talk through it openly, either to yourself or someone you trust, it loses its ability to control you. Fear is not a wall, it is a shadow. And shadows disappear as soon as you shine a steady light on them. Most people try to avoid fear, hoping that ignoring it will make it vanish. But this only gives fear space to grow unchecked. When you refuse to speak about your fears, they become louder inside your head. They twist into worst-case scenarios, paralyzing you with what-ifs and imagined failures. The mind fills in blanks with terrifying stories that have no real evidence. The more you hold back, the more distorted and overwhelming fear becomes. But when you start talking about it, you begin to unravel the story. You expose the lies and see fear for what it really is, a feeling, not a fact. Talking through fear means naming it clearly. It means being honest with yourself about what exactly is making you hesitate or feel unsafe. Sometimes that fear is obvious: fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. Other times it's more hidden: fear of change, fear of not being enough, fear of loss. Naming the fear takes away its mystery. When you label it, you create distance between you and the emotion. You become the observer instead of the victim. This simple act makes fear less confusing and easier to manage. Expressing your fears out loud, even if only to yourself, also helps you see their irrational side. When fear stays inside your head, it feels like truth. But when you say it aloud, you often catch how extreme or unlikely the fear sounds. You might realize that some fears are based on past pain that no longer applies. Others might be fears that other people put in your mind, not yours originally. Speaking through fear helps you see the difference between real risks and imagined threats. This clarity is the first step toward taking control back. When you share your fears with someone you trust, the power of those fears weakens even further. Another person's perspective can challenge your assumptions, remind you of your strengths, and help you see solutions you missed. Vulnerability doesn't make you weak. It connects you to support that fuels courage. Even just hearing yourself say the words to another human breaks the cycle of isolation that fear thrives on. The act of communication breaks fear's hold and opens the door to action. The more you practice talking through your fears, the more routine it becomes. It's like training a muscle. At first it feels uncomfortable and unnatural because fear wants to stay hidden. But each time you speak it out, you desensitize yourself. The fear loses its shock value. You develop the habit of naming the feeling before it spirals. This builds resilience and mental strength. It rewires your brain to face fear with honesty rather than avoidance. It's important to remember that talking through fear doesn't mean immediately having all the answers or solutions. Sometimes, just acknowledging the fear and allowing it to be seen is enough. Fear needs acknowledgement to lose its power, not always eradication right away. When you accept the feeling without judgment, you take away the fuel that feeds it. Fear weakens when you stop battling against it and start observing it calmly. The more you witness fear without panic, the smaller it becomes. When fear tries to tell you you can't, you're not ready, or you'll fail, talk back with your own voice of reason. Remind yourself of past challenges you overcame. Remind yourself that you have the ability to learn and adapt. Fear thrives on doubt and hesitation, so replace those with facts about your own resilience and progress. Use your voice as a tool to cut through the fog of fear and reveal the truth beneath. Your words are weapons of clarity and confidence. It's also helpful to write your fears down. The physical act of writing creates distance, transforming swirling emotions into concrete thoughts you can analyze. Writing forces you to slow down and organize your feelings, making them less overwhelming. It also creates a record you can revisit to see how far you've come. When fear appears on paper, it's easier to challenge and rewrite the narrative that keeps you stuck. Some fears come from real threats, so talking through them helps you plan and prepare wisely, rather than freeze. When you verbalize what could go wrong, you can also outline what you will do if that happens. This shifts your mindset from helplessness to strategy. Fear loses control when you take steps to address the possible risks instead of avoiding the whole situation. Preparation is the antidote to panic. Fear also loses power when you use it as a signal rather than a stop sign. Fear signals caution, yes, but it doesn't mean you must retreat. Instead, it asks you to pause, evaluate, and move forward with care. When you talk through your fears, you give yourself permission to move forward even with fear present. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving despite fear. When you accept fear as part of the journey, you strip it of its power to paralyze. This process transforms your relationship with fear. It stops being an enemy and becomes a guide. Fear points you to areas where you might need growth, preparation, or protection. When you talk to fear, instead of avoiding it, you gain insight into your limits and strengths. You learn when to push harder and when to pause and reassess. This ongoing conversation creates a balanced mindset that respects fear without letting it dominate your decisions. Remember, fear is a natural part of being human. It shows that you care, that you're about to grow, or that you're on the edge of something important. But fear is not the boss of you. You are. When you talk through your fears, you reclaim your power and choose courage. You build the habit of moving forward, not because you never feel afraid, but because you have trained your mind to listen without panic. Don't wait for fear to disappear before you act. That moment may never come. Instead, act with fear beside you. Talk to it, question it, and then keep moving. The more you do this, the less fear controls your life. You'll notice it loses urgency and becomes background noise rather than a loud alarm. This gradual process changes your entire experience of challenges and uncertainty. The freedom that comes from talking through fear is life-changing. When fear no longer dictates your choices, you start taking risks that lead to growth, joy, and achievement. You become bolder because you understand fear is just part of the process, not a barrier. You learn to trust yourself more deeply because you've proven you can face what scares you and still move forward. This trust becomes your foundation for lasting confidence. To make this a lifelong habit, set aside time regularly to check in with yourself about your fears. Create a safe space where you can be honest without judgment. Whether it's journaling, talking with a friend, or quiet reflection, keep the conversation going. When fear tries to sneak back in, use your practiced voice to meet it calmly. Over time, this habit rewires your brain for courage and resilience. Your fears do not define you. They are signals and emotions that come and go. Your strength is in how you respond to them. Talking through your fears is the key to unlocking your freedom from them. It is the act of shining light into the darkness until the shadows disappear. When you commit to this practice, you become unstoppable. Fear becomes just another part of your story, not the end of it. Chapter 9. Use morning words to shape your daily focus. Every morning holds the power to rewrite your story for the day ahead, if you choose your words carefully. The language you use first thing in the morning shapes your thoughts, emotions, and actions in profound ways. Your morning words set the tone, direct your focus, and ignite the energy that propels you forward. This is not just about positive thinking or empty affirmations. It is about deliberately crafting your mindset with purposeful language that fuels your goals, steadies your resolve, and sharpens your clarity. When you master your morning words, you master your day. Starting the day without intention allows your mind to wander and pick up habits of doubt, distraction, and hesitation. The moment you open your eyes, your brain is a blank canvas, hungry for input. If you reach immediately for negative news, complaints, or worries, you prime your mind for stress and defeat. If instead you feed yourself words of strength, clarity, and possibility, you activate your focus and determination. Your words are the architects of your reality. They build mental pathways that either limit or empower you. Choosing your morning words means becoming the conscious author of your internal dialogue. It means rejecting the default setting that often spirals toward anxiety or uncertainty. It's about speaking directly to your potential and values with confidence and care. This isn't about ignoring challenges or pretending life is perfect. It's about facing the day with honesty, self-respect, and an unshakable commitment to yourself. When your morning words align with your highest intentions, you create a foundation that resists distraction and discouragement. The impact of morning words extends beyond fleeting motivation. Repeated daily, they form a habit of disciplined thought. Each morning you reinforce your identity and priorities. You remind yourself who you are becoming and what you refuse to settle for. Over time, these words become anchors in your subconscious mind. When distractions or setbacks arise, those early affirmations and declarations return to steady you. You've already told your mind what matters most before the world demands your attention. Crafting your morning words requires clarity. Your statements must be precise and meaningful. Vague or generic phrases hold little power. Instead of saying, "Today will be good," say, "Today I will focus deeply on what moves me closer to my goals." Instead of "I am confident," say, "I choose to trust my skills and keep learning every moment." The difference lies in specificity and intention. Your morning words must speak to the actions and mindset you want to cultivate. This directs your brain toward those patterns. Speaking your morning words aloud or writing them down deepens their influence. Hearing your own voice declaring your commitment makes the words tangible and real. Writing engages your motor skills and memory, embedding the messages more firmly in your mind. This physical act signals to your brain that these are not idle thoughts, but promises you intend to keep. When possible, take a moment in quiet reflection to feel the weight and meaning behind each word. This emotional connection fuels genuine motivation rather than superficial cheerleading. Morning words should reflect both self-compassion and accountability. Be kind to yourself, recognizing that progress is a process, not perfection. Use language that encourages growth rather than judgment. For example, say, "I will learn from mistakes today," instead of "I must not fail." At the same time, hold yourself accountable with clear commitments like, "I will take deliberate steps toward my purpose." This balance nurtures resilience by combining encouragement with responsibility. An essential part of morning words is choosing what you will focus on, not just what you hope to avoid. Too often, people define their day by problems they don't want to face, such as "I will try not to get overwhelmed" or "I won't let distractions win." While understandable, this approach keeps attention on obstacles and limits energy. Instead, shift focus to what you want to create and achieve. Say, "I will channel my energy into creative solutions," or "I will prioritize what matters with clarity." Directing attention to positive action sets a productive momentum. Your morning words also serve as an internal compass when external chaos arises. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will come without warning. But if you have anchored your mindset with purposeful language early in the day, you can navigate turbulence without losing your course. Your morning words become a refuge you return to, a source of steadiness amid distraction. They remind you of your purpose, values, and capacity to adapt. This mental anchor protects your confidence and keeps you moving forward. It's important to review and update your morning words regularly. As you grow, your goals and challenges shift. What worked months ago may lose relevance today. Reflect on your progress and adjust your language accordingly. Are your words still aligned with the person you want to be? Are they helping you focus on what matters most? Staying flexible with your morning affirmations ensures they remain powerful and fresh, rather than routine or stale. You can create rituals around your morning words that deepen their effect. This might include a few minutes of meditation or deep breathing to clear your mind before speaking your words. Or you might pair your affirmations with a physical movement, like stretching or standing tall, to embody the strength behind the language. Rituals connect your mind and body, making your morning words more integrated into your whole self. This alignment increases your sense of presence and readiness. Sharing your morning words with a supportive community or accountability partner can boost their impact. When you declare your intentions to someone who believes in you, your commitment solidifies. Others can remind you of your morning focus when distractions creep in or doubts arise. Social support creates a network that reinforces the habit of purposeful thinking and action. It adds an external layer of motivation that complements your internal dialogue. The consistency of morning words is what truly shapes your daily focus. A single morning of deliberate language might inspire you temporarily, but repetition creates lasting change. It's the daily investment in your mindset that rewires your brain to seek focus, clarity, and growth automatically. Over weeks and months, this practice elevates your discipline and self-mastery. You become someone who approaches each day with clear eyes and steady resolve. Using morning words also shifts your relationship with obstacles. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, you start viewing them as feedback and opportunities. Your words prepare you to respond with curiosity and persistence rather than frustration. When you say, "I will learn from every challenge," you set a framework for resilience. This mental shift reduces the power of discouragement and keeps you engaged even during tough times. As you speak your morning words, you also build self-trust. This trust forms because you consistently show up for yourself with honesty and intention. Your words become promises you intend to keep, and following through strengthens belief in your own reliability. Self-trust is a foundation for confidence and action. When your internal dialogue is aligned with your actions, you become unstoppable. Remember, your morning words don't have to be long or complicated. Sometimes a single powerful sentence is enough to direct your day. The key is intention and presence as you speak them. Avoid rushing or saying words mechanically. Instead, treat this moment as a sacred opportunity to connect with your inner strength and goals. This daily pause transforms a simple habit into a profound source of empowerment. In moments when your motivation feels low or your mind feels scattered, return to your morning words. Repeat them mentally or aloud as a reset button. This practice reconnects you to your purpose and calms mental noise. Your morning words are not just for the morning, they become tools you carry with you all day long. They remind you who you are choosing to be, despite distractions or difficulties. The power of morning words extends beyond your personal life. As you build clarity and focus through your own practice, you become a beacon for others. Your steady mindset inspires those around you to take control of their inner dialogue. You model the strength that comes from intentional language and daily self-leadership. This ripple effect amplifies your impact far beyond your own goals. Each morning is a fresh chance to align your thoughts and energy with your deepest intentions. When you take charge of your words first thing, you start the day as a deliberate creator rather than a reactive participant. This shift transforms not only your daily experience, but the trajectory of your life. Small moments of intentional speech build a fortress of focus that guards your dreams and propels you toward fulfillment. In time, your morning words become a language of empowerment that defines your character. They cultivate patience, resilience, clarity, and action. They remind you that you are the source of your energy and attention. When you speak with conviction each morning, you plant seeds of greatness that grow through consistent effort. This practice becomes a cornerstone of your success and well-being. The choice is yours every day. Will you allow random thoughts to dictate your mood and focus, or will you lead with deliberate, purposeful words that shape your reality? By making morning words a priority, you claim control over your mindset and actions. You build a momentum that carries you through challenges and distractions with strength and clarity. This daily habit unlocks your highest potential and reveals the power you hold within. Take this moment to commit tomorrow morning and every morning after. Speak words that serve your highest good. Use language that ignites your purpose, centers your mind, and fuels your confidence. Your words are the first step in creating the day you want to live. Start there and watch how your entire life shifts in response. Your focus, your results, and your sense of fulfillment all begin with the words you choose to say to yourself first. Chapter 10. Celebrate your small wins with honest self-talk. Every meaningful journey is built on countless small victories, moments that most people overlook, but which hold the true power to transform your life. Celebrating your small wins isn't about bragging or vanity. It's about recognizing progress honestly, appreciating effort, and reinforcing the belief that you are moving forward. Honest self-talk that acknowledges these wins fuels your motivation, strengthens your confidence, and makes the path to bigger achievements clearer and more sustainable. When you learn to honor every step, no matter how small, you build unstoppable momentum. The human mind craves recognition. When we fail to notice our own progress, we unintentionally feed discouragement and doubt. It's easy to focus on what's left undone, what feels out of reach, or where mistakes happened. But neglecting the positive moves you make is like trying to run a race without acknowledging the milestones you've passed. This kind of thinking drains energy and clouds your vision. By contrast, honest self-talk that celebrates small wins brings light to your progress and renews your drive. Small wins come in many forms: finishing a difficult task, resisting a bad habit, learning a new skill, or even just showing up when it feels hard. These moments add up, yet most people undervalue them. The problem isn't that the wins aren't significant, but that they are often overshadowed by a fixation on big, distant goals. Learning to pause and honor the little achievements trains your mind to see success as a journey made of many steps, rather than a single, unreachable destination. Celebration through self-talk means more than just saying "good job." It requires genuine recognition of your effort and progress without exaggeration or false praise. Honesty here is crucial. You want to acknowledge what you've done well and where you've improved, not inflate or diminish your actions. This balance helps build real confidence rather than brittle ego. For example, saying, "I handled that challenge better than last time," or "I stayed focused longer today," anchors your self-esteem in observable facts rather than vague feelings. When you speak kindly and accurately to yourself about your wins, your brain receives signals of reward and motivation. This neurochemical reinforcement encourages you to repeat the behaviors that led to those wins. Your mind begins to associate effort and progress with positive feelings, creating a cycle that supports growth. This is how consistent improvement becomes natural rather than forced. Celebrating small wins turns your own approval into a powerful engine for continued success. It's important to integrate celebration of small wins into your daily routine so it becomes a habit rather than a rare event. You can do this by setting moments in your day dedicated to reflection and acknowledgement. Perhaps at the end of a work session or before bed, take a few minutes to review what you accomplished and speak honest, encouraging words to yourself. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to automatically notice and value progress, even when life feels overwhelming. Avoid the trap of linking celebration only to perfection or huge accomplishments. Waiting to celebrate until a major milestone is reached delays gratification and motivation. Small wins are the bricks that build that milestone, so honoring them keeps you motivated all along the way. It also prevents burnout by reminding you that progress is continuous and achievable. Celebrating each step fuels a positive mindset, making the overall journey more rewarding and enjoyable. Sometimes, honest self-talk that celebrates small wins requires resisting your inner critic. That voice inside that focuses on what you didn't do, what you could have done better, or what's still wrong can drown out your recognition of progress. Learning to recognize when this critical voice is present and gently redirecting your thoughts toward what you accomplished is essential. Say to yourself, "I see what I didn't finish, but I'm proud I completed these steps today." This balances self-improvement with self-acceptance. Celebration is not only an individual act, but a form of self-respect. When you honor your wins, you affirm your worthiness of success and happiness. You tell yourself that your effort matters, that you deserve recognition just as much as anyone else. This internal validation is crucial for building lasting confidence because it does not depend on external approval. You become your own source of encouragement, which is both empowering and freeing. Being specific about the wins you celebrate sharpens your focus and deepens the impact of your self-talk. Instead of vague praise, identify exactly what you did well. This might be, "I kept my calm during a stressful moment," "I took the initiative to start that project," or "I chose healthy food despite cravings." Naming your wins precisely helps your brain understand which behaviors to repeat and reinforces the progress you are making toward your goals. Celebrating small wins also changes your relationship with challenges and setbacks. When you recognize that you have made progress despite difficulties, setbacks no longer feel like failures but rather temporary detours. This mindset reduces discouragement and fosters resilience. Honest self-talk in this context might sound like, "I didn't reach my goal today, but I handled the obstacles better than before." Such recognition helps you stay engaged and hopeful instead of giving up. In moments when your motivation feels low, reflecting on your small wins can reignite your energy. Sometimes we overlook our achievements because they don't seem significant in the moment. Taking a step back to honestly assess what you've done reminds you that you are capable and moving forward. This perspective counters feelings of stagnation and helps you maintain consistent effort, even on tough days. The practice of celebrating small wins through honest self-talk cultivates patience. Real progress rarely happens overnight. It unfolds gradually through daily efforts that can feel invisible until looked at collectively. When you learn to honor these incremental successes, you cultivate the patience necessary to endure the process without losing heart. This steady patience is the backbone of long-term achievement and personal growth. Celebration doesn't have to be loud or public. It can be quiet, private moments where you acknowledge your own progress with sincerity. This personal recognition holds deep meaning because it is rooted in your self-awareness and integrity. It fosters an internal culture of kindness and respect that sustains you through challenges. When you honor your wins privately, you build a resilient foundation of self-appreciation. It's helpful to use concrete tools to track and celebrate your small wins. Keeping a journal, a checklist, or a progress log allows you to see tangible evidence of your efforts. Writing down your accomplishments makes them real and undeniable. This practice supports your honest self-talk by giving you clear facts to reflect on and celebrate. It also creates a record of growth you can revisit when you need encouragement. Another powerful way to celebrate small wins is to connect them to your larger vision. When you link daily successes to your broader goals, they gain meaning and motivation. For example, saying, "By completing this task today, I am moving closer to my dream career," ties small wins to a bigger purpose. This connection strengthens your focus and determination by reminding you why the effort matters. Honest self-talk that celebrates progress also enhances your self-awareness. It requires tuning into your thoughts and feelings about what you have accomplished. This attention deepens your understanding of your own strengths and growth areas. Greater self-awareness leads to better decision-making and more intentional action. By regularly acknowledging small wins, you sharpen your ability to guide yourself effectively. When you celebrate small wins, you shift from a mindset of scarcity to abundance. Instead of focusing on what is missing or lacking, you notice what you have gained and built. This abundance mindset creates a positive emotional climate that supports creativity, resilience, and happiness. It rewires your brain to look for opportunities and solutions rather than problems and limitations. Sometimes celebrating small wins invites you to express gratitude for yourself and your journey. Gratitude amplifies positive feelings and motivation. Take moments to thank yourself for the effort, persistence, and courage you show every day. This practice nurtures a deeper appreciation for your own growth and fuels continued commitment. It's natural for some days to feel less productive or motivated. On those days, honest self-talk celebrating even the smallest progress can be a lifeline. Recognizing that you moved forward in any way, no matter how small, counters defeatist thinking and keeps you in the game. This gentle encouragement supports you through fluctuations in energy and mood. As your habit of celebrating small wins grows, you may notice a shift in how you approach goals. You start to value progress over perfection and process over immediate results. This mindset fosters sustained motivation and reduces stress. When you celebrate your journey, rather than fixating only on outcomes, you create a fulfilling and balanced path to success. In relationships and teamwork, celebrating small wins with honest communication strengthens bonds and morale. Acknowledging contributions and progress openly fosters trust and cooperation. This shared recognition creates a positive environment where everyone feels valued and motivated. Practicing honest self-talk individually lays the foundation for this kind of constructive interaction with others. Ultimately, the habit of celebrating small wins with honest self-talk transforms your entire approach to growth. It nurtures resilience, patience, self-compassion, and focus. It turns daily effort into a source of joy rather than frustration. By recognizing and honoring your progress, You become the leader of your own development and the architect of your future success. This practice requires commitment and consistency. It may feel unfamiliar at first, especially if you are used to being hard on yourself. But with time, it becomes a natural and powerful part of your mindset. Your small wins are proof that you are capable and worthy. Let your honest self-talk be the voice that reminds you of this truth every day. Start today by noticing one small win you achieved recently. Speak to yourself about it with honesty and kindness. Let this recognition fuel your motivation to keep moving forward. Each win builds your confidence and momentum. When you celebrate yourself authentically, you claim your power and lay the groundwork for extraordinary achievement. Chapter 11. Ask yourself better questions to find real answers. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask yourself. When you learn to ask better questions, you open the door to real answers. Answers that reveal deeper truths, spark genuine insight, and guide you toward meaningful solutions. It's not just about seeking information, it's about transforming your mindset and redirecting your focus to what truly matters. Asking better questions reshapes your thinking and empowers you to take control of your life. Most people approach challenges by repeating the same questions over and over, expecting different results. They ask, "Why am I stuck?" or "Why does this always happen to me?" These questions, while natural, keep them trapped in a cycle of frustration and helplessness. The answers they get only reinforce their doubts and fears. To break free, you must challenge yourself to go deeper, to ask questions that uncover possibilities rather than reinforce limits. Better questions are those that promote clarity, responsibility, and creativity. Instead of asking, "Why can't I do this?" try, "What can I do differently to move forward?" Instead of focusing on blame, shift towards solutions. This subtle change in questioning opens up space for action and growth. It moves you from victimhood to empowerment. When you start asking solution-oriented questions, you activate your problem-solving mind and fuel progress. Another powerful approach is to ask questions that invite reflection on your values and purpose. Questions like, "What is most important to me in this situation?" or "How does this choice align with my long-term goals?" help you align your actions with your deeper priorities. This kind of questioning prevents you from drifting aimlessly and ensures your energy is invested where it counts. It creates a compass for decision-making rooted in self-awareness. Better questions also challenge assumptions and biases. Sometimes the way we frame a problem limits our perspective without us even realizing it. Asking "What if the opposite were true?" or "What am I not considering?" helps uncover blind spots and opens your mind to new possibilities. This practice expands your thinking beyond habitual patterns and encourages innovation. It's a form of mental flexibility that allows you to adapt and thrive in changing circumstances. When you learn to ask yourself better questions, you develop a habit of introspection that leads to self-mastery. Instead of rushing to conclusions or reacting emotionally, you pause to explore your thoughts and feelings more deeply. Questions like, "What is my role in this outcome?" or "How am I contributing to this challenge?" foster honesty and accountability. This self-honesty is the foundation of true growth because it encourages you to own your part and take meaningful steps toward change. Better questions can also help you manage emotions effectively. When feelings like fear, anger, or doubt arise, asking, "What am I really afraid of here?" or "Is this thought helping or hurting me?" can diffuse negative reactions and provide insight into their source. This emotional awareness prevents impulsive decisions and promotes calm, intentional responses. It's a key skill for maintaining focus and resilience under pressure. It's important to create a practice of regularly questioning yourself with intention. You might start or end your day by reflecting on a few thoughtful questions related to your goals, challenges, or mindset. Writing these questions and your responses in a journal deepens the impact by making your thinking explicit. Over time, this habit sharpens your clarity and strengthens your ability to navigate complex situations with confidence. Sometimes better questions come from curiosity rather than judgment. Replace "why did I fail" with "what can I learn from this experience?" or "what steps can I take to improve?" Curiosity opens your mind and reduces the fear of making mistakes. It encourages experimentation and learning, which are essential for growth. When you ask questions with curiosity, you invite discovery and progress rather than punishment. Avoid questions that trap you in negativity or indecision. Questions that start with "why me?" or "what's wrong with me?" often fuel feelings of helplessness and self-criticism. Instead, focus on questions that inspire hope and action. What is one small step I can take right now? Or how can I use this challenge to become stronger? Guide you towards solutions and resilience. Changing the questions you ask shifts your entire mindset from scarcity to possibility. Better questions also encourage perspective taking. When conflicts or frustrations arise, ask yourself, how might someone else see this situation? Or what is a different way to interpret these events? This practice fosters empathy and reduces rigidity. It helps you understand others and find common ground. It also expands your thinking beyond personal biases and assumptions, allowing you to respond with wisdom rather than reaction. A crucial part of asking better questions is allowing yourself time and space for honest answers. Sometimes the answers don't come immediately, or they reveal uncomfortable truths. Being willing to sit with uncertainty and discomfort is essential. It shows courage and commitment to growth. When you resist rushing past difficult questions or easy answers, you develop deeper insight and clarity. Better questions create momentum by focusing on what is actionable. Instead of dwelling on what can't be changed, ask "what can I control in this situation?" or "what resources or strengths do I have that I can use?" This shifts your attention to areas where your effort matters most. It builds confidence by highlighting your capacity to influence outcomes rather than feeling powerless. It's helpful to notice patterns in the questions you ask yourself. Are they generally negative, vague, or blaming, or are they precise, positive, and empowering? Becoming aware of these patterns allows you to intentionally reframe your self-inquiry. Like training a muscle, you strengthen your ability to ask better questions through practice and persistence. Over time, your internal dialogue becomes a source of guidance and strength. Better questions can also reveal hidden opportunities. Asking "what possibilities am I missing?" or "how can this challenge lead to growth?" turns obstacles into stepping stones. It encourages optimism, grounded in reality. This mindset keeps you engaged and hopeful even when things don't go as planned. It transforms setbacks into lessons and keeps your focus on forward movement. When you face complex decisions, better questions help break down overwhelming problems into manageable parts. Asking "what is the first step I can take?" or "what information do I need before deciding?" simplifies the process. It reduces anxiety by making challenges feel more solvable. This clarity enables you to take deliberate action rather than getting stuck in confusion or procrastination. Better questions cultivate humility by inviting you to recognize what you don't know. Asking what assumptions am I making, or what else could be true, opens you to learning and growth. It prevents arrogance and closed-mindedness. This openness is vital for adapting to new information and evolving your thinking. It ensures your path forward is flexible and grounded in reality. Asking better questions also strengthens your problem-solving skills. By exploring different angles and possibilities, you generate creative solutions. Questions like, what if I approached this from a different perspective, or who can I ask for help or advice? Expand your resources. This collaborative mindset leverages the power of diverse ideas and support networks, increasing your chances of success. Better questions build resilience by helping you interpret challenges as temporary and surmountable. Instead of seeing obstacles as insurmountable walls, you ask, what can I learn from this, or how will overcoming this make me stronger? This reframing reduces fear and discouragement. It promotes persistence and grit, essential qualities for long-term achievement. It's important to avoid overthinking by balancing deep questioning with decisive action. Asking better questions is not about endless analysis, but about gaining clarity to move forward. Once you've explored your inquiry thoughtfully, commit to a course of action. Trust that your better questions have prepared you well, and that progress comes from doing. Better questions foster self-compassion. When you stumble or fail, ask, what can I forgive myself for, or how can I support myself through this? This nurtures kindness and reduces harsh self-judgment. It encourages you to treat yourself with the same care and understanding you would offer a friend. This compassion is key to maintaining motivation and emotional health. The questions you ask shape your identity and beliefs. Asking, who do I want to become, or what kind of person do I want to be in this situation, guides your behavior toward your ideal self. This form of questioning creates alignment between your actions and values. It helps you build character and integrity through intentional choices. Better questions also prepare you for future challenges. Regularly practicing insightful self-inquiry develops mental habits that make you more adaptable and resourceful. When new obstacles arise, you naturally ask questions that lead to growth and solutions. This readiness increases your confidence and reduces anxiety about uncertainty. When you ask yourself better questions, you become an active participant in your own transformation. You take ownership of your story instead of being a passive observer. This shift empowers you to create the life you want with purpose and clarity. Your questions become tools for navigating complexity and forging a path that reflects your true potential. Begin cultivating this skill by choosing one area of your life where you feel stuck or uncertain. Write down the questions you usually ask yourself about it. Now rewrite those questions into better, more empowering ones. Reflect on how these new questions change your perspective. Practice this exercise regularly and notice how your thinking evolves and your decisions improve. Remember, the power to change your life is always within you. It starts with curiosity and honesty in the questions you ask. Better questions open doors to better answers, better choices, and ultimately a better life. Make this your daily practice and watch how your world transforms from confusion into clarity, from doubt into confidence, and from struggle into growth. Chapter 12. Define who you are in your own words. You are the author of your own identity, and no one else has the right to write that story for you. Defining who you are in your own words is the foundation of true freedom and personal power. When you take control of your narrative, you break free from external labels, expectations, and judgments that limit your potential. This act of self-definition is not just about a statement or a phrase, it is a declaration of ownership over your life and your future. Far too often, people allow others to describe them. Society, family, peers, and even past experiences try to put you in a box shaped by their opinions, fears, and biases. But that box does not have to contain you. The moment you decide to define yourself on your own terms, you dismantle those walls and open space for growth, authenticity, and fulfillment. This process starts with deep reflection and honesty about what truly matters to you, beyond what anyone else says or expects. Defining who you are means looking past superficial labels like job titles, social status, or material possessions. Those things change and can be misleading. Instead, focus on the core qualities, values, and principles that guide your behavior and choices. What do you stand for when no one is watching? What qualities do you want to embody every day? When you clarify these elements, your identity becomes a living compass that directs your actions and decisions. This self-definition is not static. It evolves as you learn, experience, and grow. You have the power to rewrite your story at any time. If you feel trapped by an old version of yourself, it's because you haven't yet fully claimed the right to create a new one. This ability to redefine yourself is a strength that separates those who remain stuck from those who rise. Change is not betrayal of your identity, it is the natural expansion of it. Take time to sit with yourself and ask, who am I when I am at my best? Who am I when I face challenges? Who do I aspire to be? These questions peel away layers of noise and distraction, revealing the essence of your character. The answers might surprise you, and that's part of the journey. Being willing to confront uncomfortable truths about yourself is a sign of courage and maturity. It's crucial to use your own voice in this definition. Avoid parroting phrases others use or adopting labels that feel imposed. Speak to yourself as if you were describing a trusted friend, kindly, clearly, and without judgment. When you hear yourself articulate your identity in your own words, you build a deeper connection to who you are. This connection fuels confidence and resilience because it is rooted in authenticity, not approval. This process also helps you set boundaries. When you know who you are, you naturally reject anything that conflicts with your values or drains your energy. Saying no becomes easier because you understand that your time and attention belong to the version of yourself you are committed to becoming. Defining yourself clearly creates a filter for what deserves your focus and what does not. Many people struggle because their self-image is scattered or defined by what they lack rather than what they possess. Defining yourself shifts your focus to your strengths and possibilities. It invites you to recognize your unique talents, experiences, and perspectives as assets. This mindset encourages you to invest in your growth and contributions rather than comparing yourself to others or dwelling on deficits. Self-definition requires vulnerability. You must be honest about your imperfections and fears without letting them define you. Owning your flaws without shame transforms them into areas of opportunity. It means accepting yourself fully, which paradoxically creates the foundation for meaningful change. When you stop hiding parts of yourself, you gain strength and clarity about who you really are. Articulating your identity in your own words also improves your communication with others. When you speak from a place of self-awareness and confidence, you attract people who resonate with your true self. This leads to deeper relationships and collaborations that support your goals and well-being. Authenticity acts like a magnet, drawing the right opportunities and connections into your life. Your identity is tied to your purpose. Defining who you are helps clarify why you do what you do and what legacy you want to leave. This sense of purpose fuels motivation, even during difficult times. It provides meaning beyond temporary success or failure. When your actions align with your defined identity, you live with integrity and experience fulfillment. This is why it's important to write down your self-definition. Putting your thoughts on paper makes them tangible and concrete. Revisit and revise this statement regularly as you grow and learn. This living document becomes a reminder and a guide when life feels chaotic or uncertain. It anchors you to your true self and helps you navigate challenges with greater ease. Avoid defining yourself by external achievements alone. While accomplishments are important, they do not capture your full essence. Instead, focus on qualities like kindness, courage, perseverance, creativity, or curiosity. These are the traits that endure beyond momentary success. They shape your character and influence how you impact the world around you. Defining yourself also means acknowledging your unique story. Your background, struggles, and experiences shape your perspective and gifts. Embrace your journey, including the setbacks and lessons. Your identity is enriched by these moments, making you more relatable and resilient. When you honor your story, you reclaim power from any narrative that tries to diminish you. Clarity about who you are helps reduce anxiety and self-doubt. When your identity is clear, you waste less energy trying to please everyone or fit into molds. You become more selective and intentional with your time and relationships. This focus leads to higher productivity and a greater sense of peace because you are aligned with your authentic self. It's natural for fear or insecurity to arise when defining yourself. You might worry about judgment or rejection. Remember, living authentically is a gift to yourself and to those around you. True connection comes from honesty, not pretense. Overcoming this fear is part of the process and brings profound liberation. Consider defining yourself in terms of actions rather than fixed traits. For example, instead of saying, "I am shy," say, "I choose to speak up for what matters." This shift emphasizes agency and growth. It reminds you that identity is about what you do consistently, not just who you feel you are at any moment. Defining your identity influences your habits and routines. When you see yourself as disciplined, compassionate, or courageous, your daily choices reflect those qualities. This alignment creates momentum and reinforces your desired identity. Small, consistent actions build a life that mirrors your authentic self. Keep in mind that no one else can do this work for you. Self-definition is a personal responsibility that requires time, effort, and courage. It may be uncomfortable, but the rewards are immense. You gain clarity, confidence, and control over your life's direction. If you struggle to find words for your identity, start by describing moments when you felt most alive and proud. What qualities did you embody? What values guided you? These memories provide clues to your true self. Build from there with honesty and compassion. This journey is ongoing. Your identity will expand and deepen as you evolve. Embrace this evolution as a sign of vitality and strength. Don't rush the process. Allow yourself to grow into the person you are meant to become. Defining yourself in your own words is an act of rebellion against conformity and limitation. It's a bold declaration that you will not be defined by others' expectations or circumstances. This power to self-define is the foundation for all lasting success and happiness. When you live from this place of self-definition, you radiate confidence and clarity. You no longer seek external validation because your sense of worth is grounded internally. This inner certainty transforms your relationships, work, and impact on the world. Your identity is the lens through which you experience life. Choose to craft that lens deliberately and authentically. The clearer it is, the more vibrant and meaningful your experience becomes. This clarity allows you to face challenges without losing yourself and to celebrate victories with genuine pride. Remember, defining who you are is not about perfection but about truth. It's about embracing your whole self, strengths, weaknesses, dreams and fears, and owning your story. This acceptance fuels your growth and empowers you to live fully. As you move forward, commit to regularly revisiting and refining your self-definition. Make it a sacred practice of self-awareness and growth. This ongoing dialogue with yourself keeps you aligned, focused, and resilient. In the end, the person you define today is the foundation for all you will become tomorrow. Own that power, speak your truth boldly, and live a life that honors your unique identity. No one else can do it for you, and no one else can take it away. Chapter 13. Speak to yourself with kindness during hard times. When life feels overwhelming and the weight of hardship presses down on your shoulders, the way you speak to yourself can become your greatest source of strength or your deepest wound. Speaking to yourself with kindness during hard times is not a sign of weakness. It is the most profound act of courage and self-respect. How you treat your inner voice in moments of struggle shapes your ability to heal, grow, and rise stronger than before. Most people underestimate the power of their internal dialogue. When challenges come, it's easy to slip into harsh self-criticism, blame, or doubt. But these negative words only deepen the pain and cloud your judgment. In contrast, kind and gentle self-talk creates a safe space where you can acknowledge your pain without being consumed by it. It allows you to face difficulties with compassion rather than judgment. Imagine the way you would speak to a close friend who is going through a tough time. You would likely offer encouragement, patience, and understanding. Yet, when it comes to yourself, many speak in ways they would never use for others. This disconnect is damaging and unnecessary. You deserve the same grace and kindness that you readily extend to others. Kindness toward yourself during hardship is not about ignoring reality or pretending everything is fine. It is about embracing your experience without adding layers of self-punishment. It means saying, "This is hard, and it's okay to struggle," instead of, "I'm weak for feeling this way." This simple shift transforms your relationship with suffering and gives you the strength to keep moving forward. Your mind is like a garden, and the words you speak to yourself are the seeds you plant. Harsh words grow weeds of doubt and fear, choking out hope and resilience. Kind words nurture flowers of courage and clarity. When you practice gentle self-talk, you cultivate a mental environment where healing and growth are possible, even amid difficulty. It's important to recognize that kindness is a practice, not an automatic response. Your brain is wired to focus on threats and problems, so negative self-talk can feel habitual. Changing this pattern requires intentional effort. Start by noticing when your inner voice turns critical, then pause and consciously replace those harsh words with kinder ones. This rewiring takes time, but becomes easier with persistence. During hard times, your emotions may surge unpredictably, and you might feel overwhelmed by fear, sadness, or frustration. Instead of battling these feelings, allow yourself to experience them without judgment. Tell yourself, It's okay to feel this way. I am human. This acceptance reduces resistance and helps you process emotions more effectively. Kind self-talk also involves celebrating your small victories, no matter how insignificant they may seem. If you got out of bed, completed a task, or simply survived a difficult moment, acknowledge it with kindness. Recognizing these wins reinforces your resilience and builds momentum toward recovery. When you speak kindly to yourself, you shift your focus from what's broken to what's possible. This positive perspective encourages problem-solving and creativity. You begin to see challenges as opportunities to learn rather than insurmountable obstacles. Kindness fuels hope and motivates you to keep trying, even when the path is unclear. It is crucial to remember that being kind to yourself does not mean excusing mistakes or avoiding responsibility. Instead, it means addressing your errors with compassion and a willingness to improve. When you acknowledge imperfections without self-condemnation, you create a foundation for real change and growth. Mindfulness can be a powerful tool to cultivate kind self-talk. By staying present and observing your thoughts without judgment, you become aware of negative patterns and can intervene consciously. This awareness breaks the cycle of automatic criticism and opens space for nurturing language. Affirmations are another effective method to encourage kindness in your inner dialogue. Carefully chosen phrases that resonate with your values and strengths can reframe your mindset. For example, saying, "I am doing my best, and that is enough," reminds you to honor your efforts without harsh standards. It's also helpful to remember that kindness toward yourself models how others will treat you. When you speak gently and respectfully internally, you set a standard for the outside world. This internal respect fosters healthier relationships and boundaries, as you no longer tolerate disrespect or negativity from others. In moments when self-kindness feels distant or impossible, seek reminders from past experiences. Recall times when you overcame difficulties or showed resilience. Use those memories as proof that you are capable of compassion and strength. This connection to your history anchors you and restores hope. Writing can assist in developing kind self-talk. Journaling about your struggles with an emphasis on understanding and encouragement allows you to externalize harsh thoughts and replace them with nurturing messages. This practice clarifies your feelings and reinforces positive language. Hard times often reveal deep fears and insecurities. When these surface, kindness acts as a balm that soothes rather than intensifies the pain. It creates a protective layer that prevents wounds from festering and becoming overwhelming. Speak to yourself as you would to a loved one who needs support, not judgment. Remember, kindness to yourself does not mean avoiding discomfort or truth. It means meeting yourself with honesty and empathy simultaneously. You face reality clearly, but refuse to let it define your worth or dictate your future. This balance empowers you to learn from hardship without being defeated by it. Physical care supports kind self-talk. When your body feels nurtured through rest, nourishment, and movement, your mind becomes more receptive to gentleness. Ignoring your physical needs often fuels harsh internal criticism. Taking care of your body is a direct act of self-kindness that uplifts your entire being. Forgiveness plays a key role in this process. Forgiving yourself for past mistakes releases heavy burdens and opens your heart to kindness. Holding on to guilt and regret only fuels negativity and stagnation. Forgiveness liberates you to move forward with compassion and clarity. It's natural to struggle with self-kindness at first. Old habits and cultural messages about toughness or perfection can make gentleness feel foreign or undeserved. Yet, persistence in practicing kind self-talk gradually rewires your brain and transforms your inner world. Set small goals to integrate kindness into your daily routine. Perhaps begin each morning by affirming your value or acknowledging your efforts. End each day by reflecting on moments where you treated yourself with patience or understanding. These small acts accumulate into a profound shift. During interactions with others, remember to extend kindness inward. Difficult relationships or conflicts can trigger self-criticism, especially if you blame yourself. Instead, practice compassionate self-talk to maintain balance and clarity. This strengthens your emotional resilience and improves communication. If your mind spirals into negativity, grounding exercises like deep breathing or focusing on sensations can interrupt destructive patterns. Once centered, consciously replace harsh thoughts with kind statements. This technique helps regain control and nurtures a positive inner environment. Incorporate humor and lightness into your self-talk. Sometimes, recognizing the absurdity of certain worries or mistakes can diffuse tension and invite kindness. Laughter directed at yourself without cruelty reminds you that imperfection is part of being human. Engage with supportive communities or resources that encourage self-kindness. Sharing experiences and learning from others fosters a sense of belonging and normalizes the struggle. This external support reinforces your internal practice and provides encouragement. Remind yourself that kindness is a renewable resource. Giving yourself grace does not deplete strength, it replenishes it. The more you practice, the more resilient and compassionate you become, creating a virtuous cycle of growth. In moments of despair, repeat kind phrases slowly and deliberately. Let each word sink in and resonate. Over time, these words reprogram your emotional response to hardship, making kindness your default setting rather than a rare refuge. Keep a list of kind statements or mantras accessible for times when you feel overwhelmed. Having ready words to turn to in crisis prevents falling into old patterns of harshness and self-blame. This practical tool supports your commitment to gentleness. Be patient with yourself. Changing how you speak internally takes time, effort, and forgiveness for setbacks. Celebrate progress rather than perfection. Each step toward kind self-talk is a victory worth honoring. Recognize that kindness creates a ripple effect. As you treat yourself with compassion, you become more compassionate toward others. This expansion of kindness enriches all areas of life, deepening connections and enhancing well-being. Trust that speaking kindly to yourself is one of the most powerful ways to build resilience. It nurtures hope, strengthens resolve, and protects your spirit from despair. In the toughest moments, your kind inner voice becomes a lifeline guiding you through the storm. Commit today to treat yourself with the same kindness you offer to those you love. This commitment is an investment in your healing, growth, and future success. Your words have power. Use them to uplift rather than tear down. The path to kindness within is a journey, not a destination. With each moment of gentle self-talk, you build a sanctuary inside where you can find refuge and strength, no matter what life brings. This sanctuary empowers you to keep going, keep growing, and keep shining, even in the darkest times. Chapter 14. Reset your thoughts when emotions try to control you. Emotions are powerful forces that can either guide you wisely or hijack your mind and derail your progress. Learning how to reset your thoughts when emotions try to control you is the key to reclaiming your peace and making clear decisions. At the heart of this skill lies the ability to recognize that emotions are signals, not dictators. They arise naturally and quickly, often before your rational mind has time to weigh in. If you allow emotions to dominate unchecked, you risk reacting impulsively, making choices rooted in fear, anger, or sadness, instead of clarity and purpose. The moment you feel an overwhelming emotional surge, it's crucial to pause and create space between stimulus and response. This pause is your reset button, a chance to step out of automatic reaction and regain conscious control. Think of it as pulling your hand away from a hot surface instead of burning yourself. It's not about suppressing the emotion, but about not letting it be the sole driver of your behavior. Resetting your thoughts starts with awareness. Pay close attention to the internal shifts happening in your mind and body. Notice the tightening in your chest, the quickening of your breath, the racing of your thoughts. These are your emotional alarms ringing. Instead of resisting, greet them with curiosity. What is this feeling trying to tell you? Where is it coming from? Naming the emotion accurately can immediately diminish its grip. Next, engage your breath as a powerful tool to calm the storm inside. Deep, deliberate breaths send signals to your nervous system that you are safe, countering the brain's natural fight or flight reaction. Inhale slowly, count to 4, hold briefly, then exhale fully. Repeat this cycle several times. This simple act shifts brain chemistry and prepares your mind for clear thinking. Once your body is calmer, redirect your thoughts with intention. Replace the flood of emotional reactions with questions grounded in reality. Ask yourself, what is true in this situation? What evidence do I have? What would I advise a friend feeling this way? This reframing challenges distorted perceptions and helps you view the issue more objectively. An effective reset also involves grounding yourself in the present moment. Emotions often pull you into past regrets or future worries. Bring your focus back to right now. Engage your senses, feel your feet on the ground, notice the sounds around you, observe your surroundings in detail. This mindfulness anchors you and weakens the power of overwhelming emotions. It's important to remember that resetting your thoughts is not a one-time fix, but a skill cultivated over time. Each time you practice stepping back and recentering, you strengthen your mental muscles, making it easier to respond with balance in future challenges. You might face intense emotions like anger, sadness, or anxiety that seem to flood your mind uncontrollably. In these moments, use self-compassion to avoid spiraling into self-judgment. Remind yourself that experiencing emotions is human, and the goal is not to eliminate them but to navigate them skillfully. Consider journaling as a way to support your reset process. Writing down what you feel and think provides an outlet for emotional energy and clarifies your inner dialogue. It also creates a record you can revisit to identify patterns and triggers, enhancing your ability to anticipate and manage future emotional surges. Another powerful approach is to develop personal mantras or statements that help you reset. These can be simple phrases like, "This feeling will pass," or "I control my actions, not my emotions." Repeat these affirmations quietly to yourself when emotions threaten to overwhelm your thinking. Engage in physical movement when possible to aid resetting your thoughts. Exercise, stretching, or even a brief walk stimulates endorphins, helping regulate mood and breaking the cycle of emotional rumination. Moving your body interrupts mental fixation and renews your energy. Social support is a valuable resource. When emotions feel unmanageable, Talking with a trusted friend or mentor can help you gain perspective and reset your thoughts. Sometimes just articulating what you're experiencing relieves tension and brings clarity. Visualizing a mental reset button or a peaceful place can help you quickly shift from emotional turmoil to calm focus. Imagine pressing this button or stepping into a serene environment whenever emotions surge. This visualization trains your brain to associate the reset process with relief and control. Avoid feeding your emotions with impulsive actions or negative self-talk. Reacting hastily often amplifies the problem and entrenches emotional patterns. Instead, choose deliberate, thoughtful responses that align with your values and long-term goals. Recognize that some emotions stem from outdated beliefs or assumptions that no longer serve you. Resetting your thoughts offers an opportunity to challenge and rewrite these limiting narratives, creating new mental pathways for healthier emotional responses. Incorporate relaxation techniques such as meditation, progressive muscle relaxation, or guided imagery into your routine to strengthen your ability to reset on demand. These practices train your brain to enter calm states more easily, even under stress. Understanding the science behind emotions helps demystify their influence. Emotions originate in the limbic system, an ancient part of the brain designed for survival. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thinking, takes longer to activate. Resetting your thoughts is essentially giving your rational mind time and space to engage fully before reacting. Developing a habit of self-inquiry during emotional episodes deepens your insight. Ask yourself, what triggered this feeling? Is my reaction proportionate? How can I respond constructively? This reflective approach reduces impulsivity and promotes growth. Be patient and gentle with yourself as you learn to reset your thoughts. It's normal to struggle initially, and setbacks are part of the journey. Each attempt builds resilience and rewires your brain for better emotional management. Understand that resetting your thoughts is a form of self-mastery. It empowers you to choose your path rather than being a prisoner to fleeting feelings. This mastery creates freedom, confidence, and peace amid life's inevitable ups and downs. Commit to practicing these strategies daily, not just during crisis moments. Strengthening your mental reset muscle ensures that when strong emotions arrive, you're prepared to meet them with calmness and clarity. As you integrate this practice, you will notice increased emotional stability, improved decision-making, and a deeper sense of inner control. Your ability to face challenges grows stronger because your mind is no longer at the mercy of emotional storms. Ultimately, resetting your thoughts when emotions try to control you transforms your relationship with yourself. You move from reaction to response, from chaos to calm, from being driven by feelings to being guided by wisdom. This transformation opens the door to greater fulfillment, better relationships, and a life lived with intentionality and strength. When you own this skill, no external circumstance can shake your inner foundation. Start now by committing to observe your emotional waves without judgment and practice the reset steps patiently. This commitment is a powerful declaration that you will not surrender your mind to fleeting feelings, but will steer your life with clarity and purpose. Each time you reset, you prove to yourself that you have the power to remain centered and composed, regardless of what life throws at you. This power is yours to claim, and it begins with the simple but profound act of resetting your thoughts. Chapter 15. Repeat strong beliefs until they become your truth. Your mind becomes the home of your beliefs, and what you choose to dwell on most often will shape the reality you live in. To transform your life, you must embrace the power of repeating strong beliefs until they embed themselves as your undeniable truth. Every day, your thoughts echo silently, either reinforcing doubt and fear or building courage and confidence. The beliefs you hold silently in your mind are the foundation of your actions, decisions, and ultimately your destiny. Changing this inner dialogue is not a fleeting attempt, but a deliberate, consistent practice that rewires your mental landscape. Beliefs don't form overnight. They develop slowly through repetition, experience, and emotional conviction. When you repeat a powerful belief consistently, it strengthens neural pathways in your brain, making that thought automatic and instinctive. This is why the practice of affirming strong beliefs works. It is the deliberate planting of seeds that grow into resilient mental habits. Consider the mind as fertile ground, ready to grow whatever seeds you plant. If you scatter negative, limiting beliefs, your garden will be overrun with weeds of doubt and hesitation. But if you sow seeds of strength, self-worth, and resilience regularly, they will take root and flourish, producing fruits of determination, success, and peace. The process begins with clarity about what you truly want to believe about yourself and your potential. Strong beliefs are not vague or wishful thinking. They are precise, empowering statements rooted in values and reality, yet forward-looking and transformational. For instance, instead of saying, "I hope to be confident," say, "I am confident in my abilities and grow stronger every day." Repeating these beliefs daily must become a ritual. This is not about empty words. It is about consciously aligning your mind with what you want to live and become. When you repeat these beliefs, say them out loud or silently, with conviction, you are training your mind to reject old limiting stories and adopt new empowering narratives. The emotional tone behind repetition is critical. Simply repeating words without feeling will not rewire the brain effectively. Engage your emotions by feeling the truth of these beliefs as you say them. Imagine what it looks like to live from that belief. Feel the pride, joy, or calm that comes from owning it fully. This emotional engagement embeds the belief deeper into your subconscious. Obstacles and setbacks may challenge your new beliefs. When you encounter resistance, from within or from external circumstances, this is your mind testing the strength of your new truths. At these moments, doubling down on repetition is essential. Remind yourself of your chosen beliefs with greater intensity and persistence. Repetition also needs to be paired with action. Beliefs solidify through behavior. When you act in ways that reflect your strong beliefs, you send feedback loops to your brain, confirming that your new truths are real and effective. For example, if your belief is "I am disciplined," you reinforce it every time you follow through on your commitments. Avoid the trap of inconsistency. The mind grows confused when beliefs are contradicted by frequent doubts or opposing thoughts. Each time you find yourself slipping into old patterns, gently but firmly return to your affirmations. Consistency is the force that transforms belief from fragile thought into unwavering truth. Surround yourself with reminders that support your beliefs. Visual cues, written notes, or digital affirmations can keep your focus sharp. Whenever your mind wanders into negativity or self-doubt, these reminders serve as anchors to bring you back to your chosen truth. The language you use in your affirmations matters deeply. Choose words that are present tense, positive, and personal. Avoid negatives and future conditions that imply waiting or hoping. Instead of "I will be successful," say "I am successful and growing every day." This shift signals to your brain that the belief is happening now, activating confidence rather than uncertainty. Your environment also plays a role in how quickly and deeply your beliefs take hold. Engage with people who support your vision and reflect the mindset you wish to cultivate. Their energy will reinforce your beliefs, making it easier to maintain repetition and emotional conviction. It's important to understand that beliefs influence your perception of reality. When you hold strong beliefs, you begin to notice opportunities, resources, and solutions aligned with those beliefs. Your mind filters information in a way that supports and confirms your new reality, creating a powerful momentum toward your goals. Sometimes you may struggle to identify strong beliefs that resonate deeply. In such cases, start with foundational truths about your worthiness, resilience, or capacity to learn and grow. These core beliefs become a base to build more specific, empowering thoughts that align with your life's purpose. Patience is essential on this journey. The brain's plasticity means change is possible at any stage, but the process requires time and perseverance. Celebrate small shifts in thinking and behavior as proof that your repetition is working. Every moment you choose your strong beliefs over doubt, you move closer to living them fully. In moments of doubt, remember that your beliefs are not fixed, they are chosen. You have the power to replace limiting ideas with expansive ones. This choice is one of the greatest freedoms you possess, the freedom to define who you are through the beliefs you nurture daily. Writing your strong beliefs down reinforces their power. The physical act of putting pen to paper engages the brain differently, making these truths more tangible. Create a dedicated journal or notebook for your affirmations and revisit it regularly to renew your commitment. Use visualization alongside repetition. Picture yourself living in full alignment with your beliefs. See how your actions, demeanor, and environment change when you embody these truths. Visualization deepens emotional connection and speeds the internalization process. Be mindful of the stories you tell yourself throughout the day. Interrupt negative or limiting narratives by consciously inserting your chosen strong beliefs. This mental editing keeps your mindset on course and prevents derailment by old habits. The practice of repeating strong beliefs is not a superficial exercise, but a profound method of self-transformation. It aligns your subconscious mind with your conscious goals, harmonizing thoughts, emotions, and actions into a coherent force, driving success and fulfillment. Know that this work affects not only your internal world but also your external reality. Your beliefs shape your energy, behavior, and interactions with others. When you embody strong beliefs, you inspire confidence and attract opportunities that mirror your inner strength. It's vital to keep evolving your beliefs as you grow. What serves you today might need refinement tomorrow. Regularly assess your affirmations to ensure they continue to align with your highest vision and values, adjusting language and focus as needed. Trust the process even when change feels slow or invisible. The seeds you plant through repetition are growing beneath the surface. With persistence, those beliefs will rise to transform your thoughts, feelings, and results. Surround your mind with uplifting content, books, speeches, and conversations that echo your beliefs and reinforce your commitment. Feeding your mind with positive input amplifies the effects of your repeated affirmations. Remember that repetition alone is not magic. It is the combined power of repetition, emotional conviction, consistent action, and environmental support that cements beliefs as truth. This holistic approach unlocks your potential and rewires your brain for success. Celebrate progress and honor your journey. Each time you repeat your strong beliefs with sincerity, you invest in a future where these beliefs shape your identity and behavior effortlessly. You possess the ability to shape your mental reality and the life that follows. By repeatedly affirming powerful beliefs, you reprogram your mind's default settings, empowering you to overcome challenges, seize opportunities, and live authentically. Embrace this practice as a daily discipline. Make repeating your strong beliefs as natural as breathing. Over time, these beliefs will become the foundation of your character, your choices, and your victories. The transformation you seek is within reach. Your mind is the instrument, and repetition is the method. Play your tune with intention, conviction, and consistency until your strongest beliefs become your undeniable truth. Chapter 16. Lead your actions by speaking with clear purpose. The way you speak is the blueprint for the actions you take, and when your words carry clear purpose, they become the compass guiding every step you make. Every action begins with intention, and intention is born from clarity in communication, both to yourself and to others. Speaking with purpose is not merely about choosing words carefully, it's about aligning your language with your deepest values and the goals you intend to achieve. When your speech reflects precision and meaning, your actions naturally follow a focused path. Too often, people speak out of habit or reaction, scattering their energy in directions that do not support their true aims. When you learn to express yourself with clarity, your mind sharpens, your priorities align, and your behavior becomes intentional. Speaking with clear purpose is an act of leadership. It declares to yourself and those around you what matters most. Purposeful speech requires awareness of the power language holds. Words shape perception, evoke emotions, and set expectations. When you speak without purpose, you dilute your impact and confuse both your mind and those listening. Conversely, when you choose words that reflect your genuine objectives, you harness the ability to influence outcomes and build momentum toward success. Begin by identifying what you truly want to achieve before you speak. This involves pausing to reflect on your values and the results you desire. Whether you're conversing internally or engaging with others, know why you are saying what you say. This clarity will transform your communication from empty noise into meaningful direction. The habit of speaking with clear purpose also refines your thinking. As you articulate your intentions precisely, your brain organizes ideas more effectively. This mental discipline strengthens decision-making and reduces confusion. Clear speech mirrors clear thought, and clear thought drives powerful action. Another essential element is authenticity. Purposeful speech is not about crafting impressive phrases to impress others. It is about speaking truthfully and confidently from your core. When your words are authentic, they resonate deeply and inspire trust. This connection fuels your motivation to act in alignment with your spoken purpose. Avoid vague or ambiguous language that clouds your message. Replace generalities with specific, actionable statements. Instead of saying, "I want to be better," say, "I will complete my project by Friday with focused effort." This specificity turns intention into commitment and lays the groundwork for measurable progress. The tone and energy behind your words also shape their effectiveness. Speak with conviction and calm assurance rather than hesitation or uncertainty. Your voice carries the emotional weight of your purpose, influencing both your mindset and the perception of others. Confidence in speech breeds confidence in action. Listening is part of purposeful communication too. When you engage with others attentively, you gather valuable insights that refine your goals and approaches. Speaking with purpose includes knowing when to listen, how to respond meaningfully, and when to assert your direction with clarity. Practice crafting statements that encapsulate your purpose succinctly. This skill helps you stay on track during conversations and presentations. The ability to communicate your aims in a clear, concise way strengthens your leadership and sets a standard for those around you. Your internal dialogue is equally important. The words you say to yourself throughout the day influence your behavior profoundly. Replace scattered or negative self-talk with purposeful affirmations that reinforce your commitment to action and growth. This internal clarity fuels external performance. Observe how your purposeful speech changes your interactions. When your words carry clear meaning, others respond with greater respect and cooperation. This builds stronger relationships and opens doors to opportunities that align with your objectives. Sometimes emotions cloud our ability to speak with purpose. In these moments, pause to center yourself before responding. Taking a breath or briefly reflecting allows you to choose words that reflect your true intentions rather than reacting impulsively. This pause enhances your control over outcomes. Aligning your speech with your purpose cultivates accountability. When you vocalize commitments clearly, you create a mental and social contract that encourages follow-through. Your words become promises you hold yourself to, reinforcing discipline and integrity. The ripple effect of speaking with clear purpose extends beyond immediate actions. It shapes your reputation, builds your credibility, and positions you as a person of influence. People are drawn to those who communicate with clarity and act consistently on their words. Your purpose should be flexible enough to adapt, but firm enough to guide. As you grow and circumstances change, refine your messages to reflect new insights while maintaining the core direction. This dynamic clarity keeps your actions relevant and effective. Mindfulness enhances purposeful speech. Pay attention to the words you habitually use and their alignment with your goals. Replace language that undermines your focus with phrases that support your vision and energize your efforts. Write down your key purposes and review them regularly. Having a tangible reminder helps you stay connected to your intentions and influences how you speak daily. This practice nurtures continuity between your thoughts, words, and deeds. Avoid overloading your communication with unnecessary details or distractions. Purposeful speech is efficient. It cuts through noise and conveys what matters most. This economy of language saves mental energy and increases the impact of your messages. Recognize that clarity in speech creates clarity in action. When your words articulate a well-defined purpose, your behavior naturally aligns with that clarity. This alignment reduces wasted effort and accelerates progress toward your goals. Speaking with purpose is a form of self-leadership. It signals that you are in control of your life and committed to your chosen path. This mindset transforms obstacles into challenges to overcome and setbacks into lessons to learn. Consistency in purposeful communication is key. The more frequently you practice clear, intentional speech, the stronger your leadership becomes. This consistency builds trust within yourself and with others, creating a foundation for sustained achievement. When you face difficult conversations, prepare by clarifying your purpose first. Knowing what you want to convey and why empowers you to navigate challenges with composure and effectiveness. Purposeful speech in adversity demonstrates resilience and strategic thinking. Your nonverbal cues must support your spoken purpose. Body language, eye contact, and facial expressions reinforce your message and show your commitment. Congruence between words and actions solidifies credibility and influence. Reflect on past experiences where unclear communication led to confusion or missteps. Use these lessons to improve how you express yourself moving forward. Learning from mistakes sharpens your ability to lead through speech. Encourage feedback from trusted individuals to refine your communication. Others can help identify areas where your purpose may not come through clearly, offering insights to strengthen your expression and subsequent actions. Remember, the goal of speaking with clear purpose is not just to influence others but to clarify and empower yourself. When your speech defines your intentions unambiguously, you unlock the power to steer your life with confidence and precision. Each time you prepare to speak, ask yourself what you want to accomplish and how your words will serve that aim. This mindful approach transforms everyday conversations into deliberate steps toward your vision. When you master purposeful speech, you free yourself from confusion and indecision. Your actions gain direction, your energy focuses sharply, and your path forward becomes illuminated. Your words are more than sounds. They are the instruments through which you craft your reality. Lead your actions by speaking with intention and clarity, and watch as your life aligns seamlessly with your most meaningful goals. Chapter 17. Calm your mind by using steady inner words. Calmness begins the moment you choose to speak to yourself with steady, unwavering words that settle the mind and clear the chaos. In a world that constantly pushes and pulls at your attention, mastering inner calm is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Your mind will always have noise, distractions, and restless thoughts. But the way you respond to that mental turbulence determines your ability to stay focused, grounded, and resilient. The key lies in the steady words you whisper to yourself inside, the silent dialogue that can either disrupt or restore your peace. When anxiety or stress rise, your inner voice often reflects confusion, doubt, or urgency. This internal chatter fuels the very unrest you want to escape. Yet, by consciously choosing steady, calming words, you create a foundation of mental stability that influences how you feel and behave. It's not about ignoring emotions or pretending everything is fine. It's about responding to the mind's storm with deliberate language that anchors you. Begin by noticing what your inner voice says during moments of tension. Are your thoughts racing, filled with what if, or I can't handle this? Do you find yourself spiraling through worst-case scenarios or criticizing your abilities? Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward changing the narrative. Once you identify the disruptive inner words, deliberately replace them with calm, steady affirmations. Words like "this is manageable," "I am here now," or "I can face this one step at a time" act as mental anchors. They do not deny challenges, but offer a stable perspective that reduces overwhelm and promotes clarity. The rhythm of your internal speech matters just as much as the content. Steady words flow with a slow, measured cadence, mirroring a steady heartbeat. This pacing soothes the nervous system, signaling your body that it is safe to relax. Try speaking your affirmations slowly and deliberately in your mind, as if comforting a friend who needs reassurance. It helps to cultivate phrases that resonate personally, words that bring you comfort and strength. These might be inspired by your values, past experiences of resilience, or trusted wisdom you've encountered. When these steady inner words are authentic, their calming effect deepens. Consistency builds the power of steady inner speech. The more frequently you practice calming self-talk, the more it rewires your brain to default toward peace instead of panic. Over time, this habit becomes an automatic response that shields you from reactive emotional storms. Steady inner words also create space between stimulus and reaction. When a stressful event occurs, your calm mental dialogue acts like a pause button, allowing you to observe the situation without immediate judgment or impulsivity. This gap fosters better decision-making and emotional regulation. Breath and body awareness complement steady inner speech. As you repeat calming words, focus on slow, deep breaths and a relaxed posture. This combined approach engages both mind and body in calming, amplifying the effect. Your inner words become the verbal guide for a physical state of tranquility. In moments of extreme pressure, anchor yourself by returning to simple, steady phrases. For example, one breath at a time, or I am safe in this moment, remind your mind to slow down and reconnect with the present. These phrases act as lifelines, pulling you back from overwhelming thoughts. Avoid harsh or judgmental self-talk, which exacerbates stress and fractures calmness. Words that blame or criticize only fuel negative emotions and deepen mental unrest. Instead, choose language that acknowledges difficulty but emphasizes your ability to endure and grow. Visualize your steady inner words as a steady flame within your mind, a constant, gentle light that never flickers despite external winds. This flame symbolizes your inner calm, sustained by deliberate, purposeful speech. Each time your thoughts wander into chaos, return to this flame by repeating your steady affirmations. Journaling can enhance this practice. Writing down your calming words and reflecting on their effects helps solidify their presence in your mind. Reading them aloud or silently each day reinforces steady self-talk as a mental habit. Understand that your mind's natural tendency is to wander, jump, and react. You won't eliminate all chaotic thoughts. The goal is not a silent mind, but a mind that responds with steady, intentional words that reduce turmoil and invite focus. Mindfulness meditation techniques align well with steady inner speech. As you observe your thoughts without attachment, gently bring your focus back to your calming phrases. This interplay trains your brain to choose steady words over chaotic ones when under stress. The power of steady inner speech extends beyond moments of crisis. Use it daily to cultivate a baseline of calmness, resilience, and confidence. Over time, this steady mental dialogue becomes your default setting, enabling you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace. When challenges arise, your steady inner words will not only calm your mind, but also strengthen your resolve. They remind you that storms pass, and you have the strength to endure and adapt. This self-reassurance fosters emotional balance and mental clarity. Notice how your relationships improve when you maintain inner calm through steady speech. Your responses become measured, less reactive, and more compassionate. Others feel your grounded presence, building deeper trust and connection. Steady inner speech is a tool for leadership within yourself. It empowers you to manage stress proactively rather than being driven by it. This control over your mental state enhances creativity, problem-solving, and overall well-being. Incorporate steady inner words into your morning routine to set the tone for the day. Begin with affirmations that establish calm and purpose. This practice prepares your mind to face challenges with a balanced perspective. At night, use calming phrases to release the day's tensions and promote restful sleep. Words like, "I did my best today," or "tomorrow is a new beginning," soothe your mind, encouraging peaceful rest and renewal. Realize that steady inner speech is not about perfection but progress. Some days your mind will resist calmness more than others. Persistently returning to your steady words, regardless of mental resistance, strengthens your inner discipline and self-trust. The steady words you cultivate inside are your allies in every situation. They form the soundtrack to your resilience, focus, and peace. When your inner voice becomes a source of calm, you face life with greater courage and clarity. Practice this daily, and you will discover that calmness is not something you wait for, but something you create moment by moment. Your mind becomes a sanctuary where steady, purposeful words reign, guiding your actions and emotions toward balance and strength. Ultimately, the way you speak to yourself within shapes the quality of your experience without. Choose steady inner words that calm your mind, and you unlock the power to remain centered, no matter what life throws your way. Chapter 18. Fuel your drive by speaking goals out loud. Your goals gain unstoppable energy the moment you give them a voice, turning silent wishes into loud commitments that drive your every move. When you speak your goals out loud, you're doing more than sharing a dream. You're forging a powerful connection between your mind and your actions. Words have weight. They shape reality by pulling your focus and fueling your motivation. The simple act of vocalizing your objectives ignites a fire within that silent planning alone cannot achieve. Many people write down their goals, but speaking them aloud activates a different level of commitment. Hearing yourself declare what you want creates a vivid mental imprint. Your brain starts working to align your thoughts, decisions, and behaviors toward making those goals real. It's like turning a key that unlocks hidden reserves of energy and determination. The voice you use to speak your goals is critical. When you say your ambitions with conviction and clarity, you program your subconscious to prioritize them. Your inner belief strengthens because the spoken word confirms your intent not just to yourself but to the universe. This externalization turns abstract hopes into tangible targets. Speaking goals aloud regularly creates a ritual of accountability. When you express what you want with enthusiasm, it's harder to ignore or forget. Your mind is reminded daily of the direction you are committed to moving. This steady reinforcement breaks down mental barriers that often keep dreams distant. Some may feel self-conscious about vocalizing goals, especially early on, but the strength that comes from owning your vision publicly, whether to yourself, a trusted friend, or a group, far outweighs the discomfort. Confidence builds each time you articulate what you're working toward, reducing fear and boosting clarity. Words are bridges between intention and action. When you say, "I will," "I am going to," or "I am committed to," your brain shifts into problem-solving mode. You begin noticing opportunities, resources, and strategies aligned with those statements. Your awareness expands to support your spoken ambitions. It's not enough to mumble or half-heartedly whisper your goals. Speak them with energy and purpose. Feel the meaning behind each word, as if it already happened. This emotional charge transforms mere statements into declarations of your future reality. Repeat your spoken goals often. This repetition strengthens neural pathways, creating automatic mental associations that drive behavior without constant effort. Over time, the voice that once shared a dream becomes the voice of achievement guiding you forward. When setbacks occur, speaking your goals aloud renews your determination. It reconnects you with the reasons why you started and the vision of what lies ahead. This vocal reinforcement keeps discouragement at bay and resilience in full force. Combine spoken goals with visualization. After saying your objectives out loud, close your eyes and picture the successful outcome vividly. This sensory engagement doubles the motivational impact, wiring your brain for success on both verbal and visual levels. Use present tense language when speaking your goals. Instead of "I want to," say "I am." This subtle shift changes your mental state from wishing to owning, making your ambitions feel immediate and achievable. Make your spoken goals specific and measurable. Clear targets make it easier for your mind to track progress and stay motivated. For example, I am increasing my savings by $500 each month is more actionable than I want to save more money. Create a daily habit of speaking your goals out loud. Find a quiet moment each morning or evening to reaffirm what you are committed to. This consistency sets a tone of purposeful action that colors your entire day. Surround yourself with others who encourage verbalizing goals. When you share your ambitions within a supportive community, you gain encouragement and constructive feedback that refine your focus. Group energy amplifies individual drive. Recognize the power of language to shape identity. When you speak your goals, you are also speaking your future self into existence. You are telling yourself who you are becoming and what you stand for. This identity shift influences all your choices. Be mindful of the words you choose. Positive, empowering language fuels momentum, while doubt-filled or negative phrases drain your energy. Replace "I hope" or "maybe" with "I will" and "I am." This practice trains your mind towards certainty and action. Celebrate progress vocally too. Speak aloud your wins and milestones, no matter how small. Acknowledging achievements strengthens belief in your capabilities and propels you toward bigger goals with increased confidence. Use your voice to break mental inertia. When feeling stuck or unmotivated, saying your goals out loud can spark new energy. It disrupts complacency and reignites the internal drive to move forward. The sound of your own commitment echoes within your mind, drowning out doubts and fears. This vocal anchor becomes a source of courage and persistence when external circumstances are challenging. Integrate goal speaking with affirmations that support your journey. Phrases like "I am capable," "I deserve success," and "I take consistent action" enhance your mindset and reinforce your spoken ambitions. Notice the shift in how you carry yourself after vocalizing goals. Your posture, tone, and energy reflect a person on a mission. This external alignment feeds back into internal confidence, creating a positive cycle. When you wake up each day, your spoken goals serve as a compass, guiding choices and prioritizing actions. They prevent distractions from derailing your progress and keep your focus razor sharp. The commitment you declare with your voice ripples into every area of your life. Relationships, work, health, and personal growth all benefit from the clarity and motivation your spoken goals bring. Your voice is a tool for self-leadership. Use it deliberately to command your attention, shape your mindset, and fuel relentless pursuit of what matters most. Speaking goals out loud transforms abstract desires into actionable reality. It bridges the gap between thinking and doing, dreaming and achieving. This practice invites accountability from yourself and others. When goals are vocalized, they become promises you are more likely to keep. The power of your own words pushes you beyond excuses and hesitation. Remember, the journey toward your goals is not always easy. Challenges will arise, but your spoken commitments provide steady motivation to keep moving despite obstacles. Create moments throughout your day to speak your goals. Whether driving, walking, or preparing for sleep, use these opportunities to reaffirm your direction and energize your spirit. Recognize that spoken goals are living declarations. As you grow and evolve, update your statements to reflect your expanding vision and higher standards. Avoid vague or wishful statements. Precision in your spoken goals clarifies your path and aligns your mind with concrete actions. Specificity turns dreams into deadlines. Use your voice to inspire not only yourself but those around you. When you share your goals confidently, you encourage others to pursue their own ambitions with equal passion. The repetition of your spoken goals forms the foundation of a disciplined mindset. This mental framework supports consistency, persistence, and adaptability, all essential for long-term success. Treat speaking your goals out loud as a form of mental rehearsal. Each verbal repetition prepares your brain and body to perform the necessary actions, increasing likelihood of follow-through. Your spoken words have the power to rewire old habits and beliefs that no longer serve your progress. Replacing limiting internal dialogue with goal-focused speech rewrites your story. Build a habit of concluding each day by speaking your goals and reflecting on progress. This ritual solidifies gains and prepares you mentally for tomorrow's challenges. In moments of doubt, return to your spoken goals as a source of clarity and strength. Let your voice remind you of your capability and commitment, dissolving uncertainty. Understand that the voice you hear inside is the same voice that directs your actions outward. When that voice is strong and purposeful, your life moves in alignment with your deepest intentions. Your goals deserve to be heard, not just in your mind but in your world. Speak them loudly and clearly to ignite your drive and sustain momentum every day. Keep speaking, keep believing, keep acting. The bridge from goal to achievement is built word by word, voice by voice, moment by moment. Chapter 19. Break negative cycles by changing your inner dialogue. You hold the power to break free from the chains of negativity by rewriting the story you tell yourself every single day. Inside your mind, a continuous dialogue shapes your reality. This inner conversation, often running unnoticed, influences your emotions, choices, and the trajectory of your life. When negativity dominates your self-talk, it creates a loop that keeps you stuck, drains your energy, and clouds your potential. But the good news is that this cycle can be interrupted and transformed by changing the words you use to speak to yourself. Negative inner dialogue is more than just harmful thoughts. It's a pattern that repeats like a worn-out record, replaying doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs. This ongoing narrative can convince you that you are less capable, undeserving, or doomed to fail. When these messages take root, they influence your actions and responses, often without your awareness, trapping you in a cycle that holds you back. Understanding that your inner voice is not fixed is the first step toward freedom. Your mind is incredibly adaptable. It responds to repetition and habit. By consciously altering the messages you send inward, you reshape your mental landscape, and with it, your life. The inner dialogue acts as a filter through which you interpret every experience. If that filter is clouded by negative language, you'll see obstacles as permanent, challenges as insurmountable, and yourself as powerless. But by consciously choosing to replace harmful self-talk with empowering statements, you open the door to new possibilities and renewed confidence. Breaking negative cycles requires attention and intentional effort. It begins with awareness, listening carefully to the words you tell yourself, especially when stress, failure, or disappointment arise. These moments often trigger the loudest negative self-talk, and they represent the most critical opportunities for change. Once you identify recurring negative phrases or themes, challenge them. Ask yourself if these thoughts are true or exaggerated. Often negativity thrives on distortions or assumptions that have little basis in reality. Questioning these beliefs weakens their hold. Replacing negative dialogue isn't about blind optimism or ignoring reality. It's about adopting a balanced and truthful perspective that recognizes challenges but refuses to be defeated by them. Instead of "I can't handle this," try "This is difficult, but I will find a way through." Create a new script for your mind, one that emphasizes growth, resilience, and self-compassion. Use language that reflects strength and possibility. For example, change "I always fail" to "I am learning and improving with every step." Repetition is key to making this change permanent. Your brain forms neural connections through repeated patterns of thought. The more you practice positive inner dialogue, the stronger those pathways become, eventually making uplifting self-talk your default mode. Affirmations are powerful tools in this process. Carefully crafted statements that resonate deeply with your values and goals can act as anchors when negativity creeps back in. Saying affirmations aloud, writing them down, or meditating on them reinforces their impact. Don't underestimate the influence of emotions on your inner dialogue. Negative feelings often fuel destructive self-talk, creating a vicious cycle. When you notice emotions like fear, anger, or sadness, pause and acknowledge them without judgment. This mindful awareness reduces their intensity and prevents them from overwhelming your mental state. Practicing mindfulness also helps you detach from your thoughts, recognizing them as passing mental events rather than absolute truths. This perspective empowers you to observe negative self-talk without automatically accepting it. Surround yourself with supportive influences that reinforce positive thinking. Engage with people who uplift you, consume media that inspires growth, and avoid sources that feed pessimism. The environment you create amplifies the messages your mind receives. Your inner dialogue is shaped not only by your thoughts, but also by your experiences and memories. Some negative cycles originate from past hurts or traumas. Working through these with compassion and, if needed, professional support can loosen their grip on your present mindset. Remember, changing inner dialogue is a gradual process. Patience is essential. Progress may feel slow or uneven, but each conscious effort to speak kindly to yourself chips away at old habits. Celebrate small victories in this journey. Every time you catch a negative thought and shift it to a positive or neutral statement, you build mental resilience. These moments accumulate, strengthening your ability to maintain constructive self-talk in all situations. The language you use inside shapes your identity. By shifting your dialogue, you rewrite the story of who you are and what you are capable of. This redefinition impacts your confidence, decision-making, and the way others perceive you. When negative self-talk resurfaces, treat it as an opportunity rather than a setback. Use these instances to deepen your commitment to positive change. Each challenge to your inner dialogue is a chance to strengthen your mental muscles. Incorporate daily practices to support this transformation. Journaling your thoughts, speaking affirmations, or meditating on positive qualities can embed new patterns into your mind. These habits serve as consistent reminders of your worth and potential. Be mindful of your body language and tone when you talk to yourself. Speaking in a calm, kind, and firm voice reinforces the positive messages. Your mind responds not only to the words, but to how they are delivered. Your environment impacts your inner dialogue as well. Physical clutter, noise, and chaos can amplify negative thoughts. Creating a space of order and calm can soothe your mind and facilitate positive self-talk. Visualizing yourself overcoming obstacles while repeating positive phrases strengthens the connection between mind and action. This combined mental rehearsal enhances motivation and prepares you for real-world challenges. Breaking negative cycles transforms how you respond to failure and criticism. Instead of internalizing these as proof of inadequacy, You learn to see them as feedback for growth. Your inner dialogue becomes a source of encouragement rather than self-punishment. Recognize the power of choice in your mental habits. Although negative thoughts may arise spontaneously, you have the authority to accept or reject them. This awareness empowers you to steer your mind toward constructive dialogue. The impact of changed inner dialogue extends beyond mental well-being. It influences your physical health, relationships, and overall happiness. Optimistic self-talk reduces stress, improves resilience, and encourages healthier behaviors. Practice compassion toward yourself during this process. Negative self-talk often stems from harsh self-judgment. Replacing criticism with kindness nurtures a supportive internal environment that fosters growth. Use questions to guide your inner dialogue constructively. Instead of, "Why am I so bad at this?" ask, "What can I learn from this experience?" This shift encourages problem solving and reduces self-blame. Your inner dialogue shapes your expectations. When you expect success and positive outcomes, you are more likely to recognize and seize opportunities. Conversely, negative expectations create blind spots and hesitation. Harness the power of storytelling to rewrite your mental narrative. Frame your experiences as chapters in a story of growth, resilience, and eventual triumph. This perspective empowers you to move forward despite setbacks. The words you choose internally impact your energy levels. Positive, hopeful language generates enthusiasm and motivation. Negative language drains vitality and focus. Choose words that elevate you. Consider the role of gratitude in shifting inner dialogue. Regularly acknowledging what you appreciate in your life redirects attention from scarcity and failure to abundance and progress. Use your breath as a tool to interrupt negative thought patterns. Deep, intentional breathing calms the nervous system and creates space for more balanced inner dialogue. Remember that your mind can only hold so many thoughts at once. By consciously introducing positive phrases, you crowd out negativity, giving your mind a new default script. Seek inspiration from others who have overcome mental barriers. Their stories demonstrate that changing inner dialogue is possible and powerful. Practice forgiveness toward yourself for past mistakes. Holding on to guilt or shame feeds negative self-talk. Forgiveness releases you to focus on present and future growth. Engage your creative side to express and transform your inner dialogue. Writing poetry, drawing, or storytelling can reveal hidden patterns and open new avenues of self-expression. Monitor how different situations affect your inner dialogue. Stressful or unfamiliar environments may trigger old negative patterns. Preparing mentally for these moments can reduce their impact. Use technology mindfully to support your efforts. Apps for meditation, affirmations, or journaling provide tools to maintain positive inner dialogue consistently. Remember that changing your inner dialogue doesn't mean ignoring reality. It's about choosing to see yourself and your circumstances with clarity and kindness, enabling effective action. Stay curious about your inner world. Explore why certain negative phrases repeat and what underlying needs or fears they express. This understanding creates compassion and informs change. Make a habit of checking in with yourself multiple times a day. Pause to notice your thoughts and redirect any negativity toward constructive language. Your words create your world. By choosing to break negative cycles in your inner dialogue, you take control of your life story and open the door to a future of strength, peace, and success. Keep practicing, stay patient, And remember that every shift in your inner dialogue brings you closer to the life you deserve. The power to change is always within your voice. Chapter 20. Train your voice to lead with courage every day. True courage is not a single act. It is a voice you train daily to rise above fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Your voice is more than just sound. It is the instrument through which your character speaks, your convictions take shape, and your leadership ignites. Leading with courage starts with how you use your voice every day, not just in moments of crisis, but in the quiet routines that form the foundation of your influence. Training your voice to lead courageously means cultivating presence, clarity, and unwavering confidence. It means refusing to let hesitation or self-doubt silence your truth. Every time you speak, you shape your reality and the way others perceive your strength. Courageous leadership begins in the smallest moments, when you choose to express your ideas honestly, stand firm in your values, and speak up for what matters, even when it's uncomfortable. This consistent practice builds a voice that commands respect and inspires trust. Fear often tries to steal your voice by convincing you to stay silent, to shrink back, or to soften your message to avoid conflict. But silence breeds weakness and stagnation. True leaders know that their voice is their power, and they train it to cut through fear like a beacon in the dark. To develop courage in your voice, start by embracing discomfort. Speak boldly in situations where your instinct is to stay quiet. Push through the urge to retreat, knowing that every time you do, you reinforce your capacity to lead. Clarity is another essential quality. When your voice is clear, your message is unshakable. Practice articulating your thoughts with precision, removing any vague or uncertain language that weakens your position. Clear speech reflects clear thinking and builds confidence both in yourself and others. Listening is an often overlooked part of training your voice. Courageous leaders do not dominate conversations, they engage with intention and respect. When you listen deeply, your responses become more thoughtful, measured, and impactful. Confidence is not something you either have or lack. It is a muscle to be strengthened. Start by speaking your truth in low-stakes environments. Share your opinions with trusted friends, contribute ideas in small meetings, or express appreciation openly. These daily exercises form a reservoir of courage to draw from when stakes rise. Pay attention to your tone, pace, and volume. A steady, calm tone communicates control and self-assurance. Speaking too quickly or too softly can undermine your message. Train yourself to slow down when nerves strike and project your voice with intentionality. Non-verbal cues complement your vocal courage. Stand tall, make eye contact, and use gestures that reinforce your words. Your body language should echo the strength of your voice, creating a consistent signal of leadership. Practice storytelling to enhance your voice's power. Stories connect emotionally and make your message memorable. Sharing experiences where you overcame fear or took bold action not only inspires others, but reinforces your own courage. Avoid the trap of waiting for perfect moments to speak up. Leadership demands courage in imperfect conditions. The more you practice leading with your voice under real-world pressures, the stronger and more natural it becomes. Seek feedback regularly. Ask trusted mentors or colleagues how your communication lands. Use constructive criticism to refine your delivery and grow your confidence. Remember that mistakes are part of growth. If you stumble or falter, don't retreat into silence. Own the moment, learn from it, and step forward stronger. Courage is built not in never failing but in rising every time you do. Mindset shapes vocal courage. Train yourself to replace thoughts like "I'm not ready" or "what if I fail" with affirmations such as "I am capable" and "my voice matters." These mental shifts fuel consistent action. Daily rituals support your voice's strength. Warm up your vocal cords, practice breathing exercises, and engage in verbal affirmations each morning. These routines prepare you physically and mentally to lead with boldness. Embrace vulnerability as part of courageous speaking. Showing authenticity and admitting uncertainty when appropriate builds trust and deepens connection. True courage balances strength with openness. Notice how the stories you tell yourself about your ability to speak boldly influence your behavior. Rewrite any narrative that limits your expression, replacing it with one that celebrates your growing power. Your voice influences your environment. When you speak courageously, you elevate the energy around you, inspiring others to step into their own strength. Leadership is contagious, starting with the sound of your conviction. Challenge yourself regularly by seeking out new situations where your voice can lead. Volunteer to present, join conversations where your opinion matters, or mentor someone who looks up to you. Growth happens outside comfort zones. Align your voice with your values. When your words reflect deeply held beliefs, your courage shines through naturally. This alignment creates authenticity that others recognize and respect. Use affirmations tailored to leadership, such as "I lead with strength and clarity," or "My voice guides others toward success." Repeat them often to embed these truths into your subconscious. Recognize the relationship between your emotional state and your voice. Cultivate emotional regulation so your speech remains steady even in stressful moments. Techniques like grounding and mindfulness can help maintain composure. Celebrate every courageous moment your voice takes. These victories, no matter how small, accumulate to transform your presence and influence over time. Avoid self-criticism that silences you. Instead, approach your voice with curiosity and kindness, exploring how to improve rather than judging mistakes. Remember that courage is contagious. The more you practice leading with your voice, the more you empower others to find their own. Your daily commitment to vocal courage creates ripples far beyond your immediate circle. Cultivate resilience in your voice by embracing feedback, setbacks, and uncertainty as essential parts of the leadership journey. Each challenge builds strength and deepens your capacity to inspire. Visualize yourself speaking confidently in situations you currently find intimidating. Mental rehearsal prepares your mind and body, making courageous speech more natural when the time comes. Consider the impact of silence as well. Strategic pauses in your speech can emphasize points and command attention. Mastering silence is part of vocal leadership. Train your voice to be adaptable. Different situations require different tones, sometimes firm and commanding, other times gentle and persuasive. Flexibility enhances your effectiveness. Build a support system that encourages your vocal growth. Surround yourself with people who listen attentively and provide honest encouragement, creating a safe space to practice. Keep a journal of your speaking experiences, noting what worked and what challenged you. Reflecting on these moments accelerates your progress. Invest time in studying great speakers. Analyze how they use their voice to lead, inspire, and move audiences. Emulate their techniques while developing your unique style. Remember that courage is a habit formed by consistent action. Every day you train your voice to lead boldly, you rewrite your internal script and expand your influence. Speak with intention, Know what you want to communicate before you open your mouth. Preparation fuels confidence and clarity. Avoid filler words and hesitations that dilute your message. Practice speaking with purpose and authority, even in casual conversations. Recognize that your voice holds the key to your leadership potential. Nurture it with patience, persistence, and passion. Lead by example through your speech. When you demonstrate courage vocally, you create a culture where boldness thrives. Celebrate the freedom that comes from owning your voice. Each step toward vocal courage is a step toward living authentically and fully. Harness your voice to create momentum. Powerful speech energizes you and those around you to take decisive action. Commit to this daily training. Courage is not an act performed once, but a way of being expressed through your voice every day.